Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Umineko. We are in the middle of Chapter 3, and Canon has just been made an offer. He's going to get to pick the 5 people who get to go to the Golden Land, assuming he can beat the Sisters of Purgatory, although it seems like only Lucifer might be fighting him. Anyway, as you can see, we got Lucifer and Canon going to be engaging in a one-on-one duel. The way Beatrice phrased it, she could easily bring out the other 6 Sisters of Purgatory, but she might have intended that it's only a Canon and Lucifer fighting. Let's find out. Can Canon beat one of the Sisters of Purgatory in a one-on-one? It's not quite Final Destination. He has an audience and he's in a relatively cramped room. But he might make it. He might make it. You don't like it? The way you look down on me. There is music here. It just sounds like it's really quiet. I'm like, is the audio off? It's actually just really quiet. Okay. The way you look down on me. As if Beatrice somehow would be impossible, but with me at least you'd have a chance. I mean, he's not wrong. Yeah, rip those plates. He's not wrong. Because, I mean, she's not wrong. Like, I would be thinking the same thing. It's like, okay, Beatrice, if I fight Beatrice, I have to fight Ronove and all 7 Sisters of Purgatory and whatever ads she can summon. But if I fight Lucifer, it's just Lucifer. Hey, my dude. What's up? I've been good. We're going through some visual novels right now. I really don't like it. That was probably humiliating for Lucifer. But at the same time, she's also happy she was lucky enough to have this adorable prey all to herself. How have you been, my friend? Come. Furniture of the witch. Don't think you can look down on me forever. Alright, alright. What's she doing? Flickering it on and off. She can pull some Jedi, some lightsaber tricks, turn her blade off to kill someone with it. It's flickering again. She's sweating? So, Battler. Isn't it a fun show? It's interesting. Can Canon beat one? Damn it. Another weird thing's happening. Like I'd ever believe in a magic battle. I like how he's watching 2 people fight with magic side blades, with sonic blades, and he's just like, yeah, this isn't real. Don't look your eyes away. Don't turn your eyes away. Take a look at it. Look. It's magic. It's furniture. No matter how much you try and deny me in magic. Look. If you got this happening in front of you, it'd be a waste to miss it, right? Yeah, it would be. But Battler doesn't believe in magic, so why would he even bother looking? Stop thinking. Magic exists. It's fantasy. Yes. And yes, 2 people did just draw magic blades out of thin air and are fighting with them, and we are seriously arguing that this isn't happening. Don't close your eyes, look closely. Look, we're looking, Beatrice. Well, Battler probably isn't. Yeah, he's just thinking, how do I justify this not being real? As usual, and his answer's gonna be, it's not real because I disbelieve it. This man is a perfect candidate for the Republican Party. He's perfectly willing to reject anything he sees, including his own defeat. I won't accept witches, I won't accept magic, and apparently he won't accept his defeat in the US presidential election of 2020. You know how it is. If it's being done in the open like that, what am I supposed to say? Yeah, damn it, sure. Don't turn away, look closely. We've only had like 5 of these battles. Magic exists, this is fantasy. Stop playing detective. Sure. I know your secret. You don't like thinking things through, right? Maybe. Stop. Look, it's gotta be fantasy. Yep, that's right. It's all fake. At least make an argument for why it's fake, battler, please. Don't talk to me? Alright. What's your argument for this being fake? This guy's getting stubborn. Apologize and crawl on the ground right now for being so conceited you thought you'd beat me. If you do, I wouldn't mind forgiving you. Then you wouldn't have to have your skin ripped off while you're still alive? He's furniture. Furniture isn't living. I'll get lashed all over as you squirm until you die. Okay. You're a cutie, so apologize. You do, I'll finish you off gently. Well, it still feels great. Her phrasing, I swear to God. Silence, furniture of the witch. I have no intention of speaking with you, alright. Think nothing. That disrespectful gaze of yours. Hello. A new undercover name. It would seem to be the case. My man's going undercover.
僕を見くびるな。お前にそのおごりがある限り、僕には決して勝てない。私がこの煉獄の7姉妹が長女ルシファーを指して決して勝てないと？この思い上がりが！
If she's just swinging madly, she's probably not going to succeed, right? Like, she's got to realize that. Oh, well. Canon was desperately trying to stay alive and had a strong desire to become human, but Lucifer didn't feel anything stronger than a desire to play. So that led to an inevitable result. A result that could be reached by the power of humans. The power of the heart. That's as far as you go. You can't win against me. So Canon's better than he was in the previous arc for no conceivable reason. Alright. The glowing red curve extended straight out from Canon's arm, pointing at Lucifer's throat just beneath the tip of her chin. Is this how could I? Must be a mistake. Due to the power of randomized plot armor, or something, he's able to hold his own instead of being absolutely fucking steamrolled by her. Alright. That's kind of weird, but alright. It's not even like it was particularly close. She got... Like, the last time he fought a Sister of Purgatory, he just was like, oh shit, there's no way I win, and lost in like 5 seconds. He got his world fucking rocked. So I'm kind of surprised he's just like, you can't beat me, I'm invincible, and rolls her. That's kind of surprising. No injuries, not a close battle, just an inevitable defeat for the sisters. Okay. That's a little bit strange in terms of story and power level. But alright. As she ground her teeth in irritation, she tried to deny the truth right before her eyes, but no matter how much she believed in her own superiority, it didn't change the facts in front of her. Well done, Canon. You haven't bored me. How pitiful my furniture is compared to that. Lucifer? You're boring, milady. Was this really too much for you to handle? I'm disappointed, eldest of the 7 stakes. It would have seemed like mere rebuke to an outsider, but however, the furniture serving the witch knew what kind of severe treatment was promised by that rebuke, and understood what had been left unsaid. She howled, abandoned... Well, she first said, you good for nothing furniture, and then she howled, abandoning her last pride, and made her body explode, exposing her true form. A demonic stake which bounced off the walls surrounding the room. How do you shame me so much? Kill, 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 kill. Let's go. Blockhead. Even though you can't follow my movements anymore. I won't play around anymore. I'm seriously mad and I'll pierce your heart in a single blow. She gives away how she's attacking. Alright. I'll plow right through you and make a fountain of bright red blood reach the ceiling. Canon casually just raises his hand and cuts her down in one blow. How are we going with this? After flying about wildly for some time, with the speed approaching the limits of what a human eye could follow, Lucifer flew at Canon's heart. She could tell it was Canon's blood by the sweet taste of it, but she quickly noticed one thing. She hadn't pierced his heart. Told you. This is why humans are frightening. You like some black tea?
今はよい。
I'm
紅
fine
茶
for
もい
now.
らぬほどに面白い。
It's so amusing, I don't need any.
カノ君
What's it, his arm?
おごったな。
You were arrogant again? It's his offhand, right?
だから、お前は
I
僕に
told you
勝
you
て
wouldn't
な
be
い
able
ん
to
だ。
defeat me. The floor was stained with dripping blood. It really was Cannon's blood, but it wasn't flowing out of his chest. He sacrificed his left hand, not even his arm, his hand. All right. I did say this was happened. She said exactly where she'd attack, so he just casually raises his hand to block it. Lucifer was arrogant, even though she'd been given enough time to realize it's an opponent capable of cornering her. She believed him to be worthless in her pride. Alright, she'd gotten careless, and just as she announced, she aimed for his chest, trying to pierce his heart. Because she was arrogant, she hadn't thought of aiming elsewhere than the place she announced. Or maybe thought about it a little, however, her pride would not allow her to aim for elsewhere. After all, she is Lucifer of pride. Cannon, withstanding the pain, grasped the stake sticking into his hand with his right hand, and pulled it out. When she heard the sound of breaking bones and even more blood dripping down, Shannon looked away reflexively. There was an air hole in the back of the pierced hand so big you could see through to the other side. Cannon's face was filled with pain, but right now he won without a doubt. The demon stake he was gripping with his right hand turned back into Lucifer, so Cannon was now gripping exactly where her neck was. I would like to point out that Cannon currently has his lightsaber blade in it. That is his lightsaber hand that he's currently using, so even if he has your throat, you should be able to sever his arm in a single motion, Lucifer. Just pointing that out. He's holding you by the throat with one hand, and that's his main hand. His other hand is destroyed. A single swing from your right arm should chop his arm off. Or if you just conjure the blade in his head, he'll be dead, you know, one of those things. But for cinematic reasons, I at least understand why they're not doing that. Okay. That's my victory. Beatrice. Cannon didn't hold back at all with the hand gripping Lucifer's throat. She challenged him again after their fight was decided, and Cannon had no obligation to be considerate. Even so, he released the furniture. Was it his naive humanism, his pity for another furniture, or a final bit of respect to the witch? Who knows? In any case, when she was released, Lucifer fell face down on the ground, retching and moaning over the pain in her throat. She's not really trying to win, is she? Like, just conjure your blade and sever his arm? Like, the blades are like... Their blades are like magic swords? Hello?
お見事ですよ。
Spectacular
あ
cannon.
なたの奮闘により、金蔵の研究の正しさが一つ
Your efforts
実証さ
prove
れ
the
ました。
correctness of some of Kinzo's research. I mean, I guess this says we can beat the Seven Sisters if we want to. We took no damage and it wasn't even a close fight for Cannon. And based on the order of importance, Cannon is actually like the least powerful or worst of the servants. So if it were to come down to a fight, we have at least 3 of the sisters on the ropes. And we don't know if Cannon would actually be pressed if he fought 2 of them now. I guess his last route, he was just not really trying. So I guess he can just win if he feels like winning. Seems like an interesting route. Interesting way to go. As I was thinking, like, if he fights, it's going to be a close match and he'll just barely win. But it turns out he completely steamrolls them, so... I guess he was just throwing the last match. As I believe in the previous route, they also announced where they were going to stab him, and he couldn't do anything. Lucifer. Harder. Cannon drop. Yeah, more like Lucifer starts coughing, saying harder, and Cannon's just like, oh, what? And drops her. Ronove was clapping his hands. To Cannon, who won at great cost and had a wound on his left hand that wouldn't close, Ronove's applause felt like mockery.
人の心はあらゆる可能性を秘める。
how all possibilities dwell in the human heart. This
いやはやこれだから人間は恐ろし
is why
い
humans are fighting. I'm just saying, like, if we had to come down to one of the routes having a fight between Beatrice and her agents, we know for a fact that he can kill one, so he can possibly take on two at the same time, because the first one was easy. Fighting two people at once is considerably harder, but we now know we could seriously fight one of them, no problem. And, like, I assume Shannon can do the same thing since she's been an agent longer and is higher ranked than Cannon. Same with Genji. So I would by this estimate put the 7 stakes at the same level or below the 3 servants of Kinzo if you wanted to have a fight. At which point you're only left to deal with like a billion ads and Ronove and Beatrice if you wanted to fight them in a direct confrontation. Presumably Kinzo has some tricks up his sleeve for dealing with Beatrice if he wants to, but he's obviously not going to commit to that one, so you wouldn't win in a fight. But you could definitely hold off everything but Beatrice herself right now. And if she brings anything less than all 7 of them, you're probably okay, right? You've played video games and watched Hollywood. Fighting 2 people is as easy as fighting 1. The second one waits to the side until you beat the first one. Yep, only in dramatic scenes do they both attack at the same time. It's gotta be dramatic, right? Yes, we are watching Umineko.
あっぱれであるぞカノ
Well done, Canon. But like, given that we have 3 servants, 3 furnitures, all of whom are at least capable fighters, then I would expect. Oh, because I can't. It doesn't really matter. Spell Cannon's name with a C doesn't really matter. There are no C's in Japanese anyway. Well done, Cannon.
そなたは勝利した
You are victorious.
見事だ。
Spectacular.
大丈夫
Are you
カ
okay?
ノン君
Are you okay, Cannon? Shannon ran up to him and wrapped a handkerchief around his left hand, which is still spraying blood.
見事であるぞカノン
Incredible, Cannon.
実に見事である
Really incredible.
わらわも少しは番狂わせを期待した
Even if I was hoping a little for an
そ
upset,
れを裏切らぬと
the fact that you
は
didn't
そ
let
な
me
たは
down
誠に
makes
素晴ら
truly
しき
splendid
家具であ
furniture.
るぞ
He is truly splendid, you hear that?
見
Making
直
truly
した
splendid furniture. I think better of you
正
now.
直見直したぞ
I honestly think better of you.
約束を忘れてはいない
You
だ
haven't forgotten our promise, right?
ベアトリチェ
Beatrice? Indeed.
もちろん忘れてはおらぬ
Of course, I haven't forgotten. Alright, let's see. Is she gonna have him fight the other 6, or is she just gonna take this as the
魔
victory?
女も悪魔も非道ではある
Looks like it's witches and demons may be inhumane.
だがしかし契約に限っては人間など及ばぬほどに
But we're
高
more
潔
noble than humans when it comes to keeping promises.
わらわは保護にはせぬ
I won't go back on
そ
my
な
word.
たが勝利したなら
Guarantee if you
13人
won.
の生贄を
I'd give
逃
you the
れ
right
る
to
ことができ
decide.
る5人を自由に決める権利を保
The
障した
5 people who escaped becoming the 13 sacrifices.
ベアトリーチェ様私はまだ敗れたわけで
It's
は
not like I've... When Beatrice waved her pipe, heaven and earth turned over for just Lucifer. So as a horribly natural result, she fell onto the ceiling. Just falls upwards. Right onto the ceiling. Alright. The ceiling doesn't seem that high to people standing on the floor. However, people who fall on it upside down and head first usually don't agree.
お嬢様
Beatrice.
さ
Milady.
すがにやりすぎで
Isn't that a bit much?
それもそうである
Perhaps you're right.
許してやるか
I suppose I'll forgive her. Beatrice waved her pipe again, and when she did, the magic that was affecting Lucifer was released. It was a horribly natural result. This time she fell properly back onto the floor. That was a loud whoosh. Damn. did he just say?
許しを
Give me.
何を怯えてお
And
る。
what are you so afraid of?
わらはもはや許したぞ。
I already forgave you, haven't I?
さてカノン、
So, Canon,
続けようではないか。
shall we continue?
何をだ
Continue what?
まさか彼女にとどめを
You
刺
aren't
せとで
saying
も
you
言う
want
つも
me
りな
to
のか
finish her, are you?
ああ、
No, no,
違う
no,
違う。まだ終わっちゃいないだろう
It's
が。
not over yet, right?
何をだ
What is it?
はぐらかすな
Top dodging the question?
わらわは確かにそなたと約束したぞ。
I did promise you your reward, didn't I?
わらわの家具、煉獄の七杭を打ち破ったなら、
If you could defeat my furniture. The 7 stakes of purgatory, right? I did point this out. I did point this out.
さあさあおいでなさい。煉獄の七杭。
Come, arise, the 7 stakes of
不甲斐な
purgatory.
き長女の6人の妹たち。
The 6 younger sisters of the worthless elder sister. I did call this right at the start of this fight. I was like, dude, he's gonna have to fight all 7. And here we are. It was worded for this. The only question was whether or not Beatrice was gonna be very generous. Alright, time to fight the other 6 sisters. The air split with shrill laughter, and as a golden splash scattered about, the remaining 6 sisters of Purgatory showed themselves. All the 7 sisters of Purgatory were here after Canon was able to defeat one. Only one by sacrificing his left arm. Yeah, but he only beat her because he threw the fight. He would have gotten a flawless victory if he didn't throw that part. By now, Canon regretted his thoughtlessness in accepting the witch's challenge. More like he regretted his thoughtlessness in not immediately defeating Lucifer when he had the opportunity to, so he has to fight with an injured hand now. Not that it particularly matters, since he only fights with a single-handed weapon and doesn't use his other hand. You'd been foolish to assume a game against a witch would be on an even footing.
ですお
Lame.
姉様どうして床に這いつくばってるの
Oh, they saw him. Why are you crawling on the floor?
お前たち
You people.
だからお姉様はダメなのよ
I told you. One-sama is useless.
長女を偉そうに名乗るくせに上っ面だけなのよ
Even though she acts like she's so great because she's the oldest, that's only on the outside.
まったく
It is in her bio. It is in her bio. She is in fact the worst.
ルシ
Seriously?
ファーお姉様一人の集体が私たちへの評価を下げるのよ
Seriously, Lucifer One-sama, your disgraceful behavior is gonna damage the reputation of us all.
恥を知りなさいなこ
No,
の
you're
未熟
shame.
者が
Novice. Poor Lucifer. Someone needs to give her a hug.
カロンくんすごいす
Thank you. That was totally awesome.
ごいでもいい気
Don't
に
get
ならない
cocky,
こと
okay?
ルシファーお姉様なんて祝ってるだけで姉妹の子じゃ大したことないんだから
She brags all the time, but she's no big deal compared to the rest of us sisters. You're all identical except for hairstyle, honestly. The difference is probably like 100% their attitude and in how they fight.
だからルシファー姉は何もしなくていいといつも言っている。
That's why I'm always saying Lucifer, nay, shouldn't
お
do
姉
anything.
様は威張ってだけいれ
Just
ば
let her keep bragging all the time.
荒事はすべて優秀な私たちで片付けるのだか
After
ら。
all, those of us with talent can handle the tough jobs.
お姉様どうする
You gonna do it?
私たちはお姉様のプライドを尊重して
Out of respect for your
その
pride.
ボロボロの体で再び挑むのを期待して手出しをしないつもりなんだけれど
We were planning to stay out of your way in the hopes you'd challenge him again in that beat-up body of yours.
でもカノン君は強いわよね
Canon-kun sure is
今のお
strong,
姉
right?
様じゃもうどうあがいても勝ち目はないわよね
Right now, no matter how much you struggle, there's no way you could win, right?
お前たち
You people.
やれやれ。いつも賑やかな姉妹たちである
Your
な。
sisters, always so lively. This room is very crowded now. There's like 10 people in here. Easy.
今は仲違いをしている場合
Actually, it's like,
か
how many is it? 12 and a corpse? It's 12 and a corpse? Let's think. 7 sisters, 3 servants, Beatrice, Ronove. That's 12 plus the corpse of Kinzo. Is this any time to fight amongst yourselves?
そなたらは7人揃ってこその煉獄の7姉妹であろうが
Only together you're the 7 shades of
仲
purgatory,
良く
right?
してわらわの仕事を遂行せよ
Execute on the tasks I give you.
迅速にね
And swiftly, okay?
ねえルシファーお姉様
Hey, Lucifer
私た
Nesama,
ち妹の力が借りたいなら
if you want to borrow the power of your little
言ってよ
sisters, say it,
お
okay?
姉様の口から助けを求める言葉が聞きたいの
I want to hear you ask for us for help with your own name.
私はこれ以上苦労する気か
You plan to mock me even more.
愚か
I, the
で器用
foolish,
で見
weak,
苦しくて
ugly,
情けないこ
shameful.
の長女のルシファーをどうか妹の皆様お助けくださ
Lucifer, the eldest sister, beg my younger sisters to save me.
いねえ
Fun.
聞かせてよ
Let's hear it.
それを聞かせてくれたら助けてあげる
If you let us hear it, we'll
それ
save
でいい
you.
わよね
Alright,
み
alright.
んな
Everyone?
お前たち
You,
おのれ
you bitch. The 7 sisters of purgatory unanimously closed in on their worthless sister, abusing her. Even Canon, who'd been fighting for his life until a second ago, couldn't bear to look at it.
また
As,
私が
as if I,
そのようなこと
as
を
if I could say
口にできるもの
something
だ
like
早くせよ
quickly
どう
now.
せお前一人では拉致が開か早く
We
7
clearly
姉
won't
妹
make
に
any
てカ
progress
ノン
with
を
you
撃て
alone. Hurry up. Let the 7 sisters strike cannon. More green. We need more of green. Leviathan. Alright, Ronove finds this amusing.
そらどうしましたかルシファ
What's the matter,
ーお嬢
Lucifer?
様の命令で
An order
す
from Milady, is it not?
ひどい
How cruel. After grinding her teeth over and over after hearing her sister's curses, Lucifer trembled all over and answered her sister's request.
愚かで
I, the
ひ
foolish,
弱で
weak,
見苦しく
ugly,
情けない
and shameful.
情けないこの長女
Lucifer,
ル
the
シファ
eldest
ーを
sister,
どうか
beg. The girl known as Pride was unable to endure the words she was saying and broke down crying. However, the 6 younger sisters kept giggling cold-heartedly.
ちょっ
Wait
と
a
なん
sec.
でごまかさないで
Don't trick us by
まだ
crying.
言い切って
You haven't finished saying it.
もう十分だろう
Chippy enough.
さあ姉妹たち
Let's display
我
our
らの
power.
力を見せてやろう
6 on 1. Yeah, okay, sure.
私は全部聞かなきゃ満足しないわよ
I'm not satisfied till I hear the whole thing.
ほらほらお姉様
Keep
続
going,
け
keep
てよ
going.
もう十分よ
It's
さ
enough.
あこの屈辱は姉妹
This
全員
shame
の
affects
屈
us
辱
all.
生かして返しはしないわよ
We won't let them leave here alive.
さて哀れな家具をどのように遊んでやろうかしら
How do we play with this
素
pitiful
敵な
friendship?
提案はある
Any plans?
ベルゼは仲良く7人でカノン君を分けっこしたらいいと思います
Feels that the 7 of us should get along and split cannon between us.
良い提案だな
Good
それで
idea.
なら姉妹で
That way
み
we
ん
all
な
get
仲
along.
良しだ
なら私頭部ね
Then I'll take the
手
head.
足はあんたらにあげるわ
I leave the limbs and guts to you all.
やだやだダメ私が頭なの
I want the head.
そんな約束意味があるわけないでしょ
There's no way that promise will mean
早い者
anything.
勝ちに決まってるわ
First one there wins.
どんな殺され方がいいか カノン君に提案があったら教えて。
Cannon, if you got any ideas for how we should kill you, tell us, okay? Can Cannon erect the disintegration field that Shannon could? Because if they all dive at him as needles, he could just disintegration field and kill them all at once. That'd be funny.
とびっきりの殺し方をしてあげる。
Seven Sisters will kill you in an awesome way.
ここまで恥をかかせたんだもの。
Shame me so deeply.
八つ咲きでも足りない。
Slicing into 8 pieces
百
won't
咲
be
きに
enough.
してくれる。
I'll slice you into 100.
行くよ
Alright,
お前たち。
here we go, everyone. Yes, amazing. The 7 of them burst at once. They had no intention of playing or boasting. This time, they genuinely follow their master's order. Take Cannon down and swiftly. The 7 sisters jumped around the room faster than the eye could see, examining how they could best kill Cannon. They tortured him with their giggles, sometimes making a close pass at him. They kept scraping his arms, shoulders, and cheeks, gradually carving red letters into his body. At that moment, Shannon dashed up behind him, holding on to him so she blocked the way to his body at least a little. At the same time, a red cylinder wrapped around the two of them like a beam of light from heaven. The cylinder repelled the evil ones who tormented him.
何？ずるい。
But you're
あん
mean.
たは関係ないでしょ。
It has nothing to do with you.
きっとこれはあれよ。
I see.
私たちと一緒に遊びたいのよ。
You must want to play with us.
なら私がもらうわ。
I'll take it.
い
I'll
っ
take
た
it.
だき。
Alma.
ベアトリーチェ様、
Beatrice,
シャノンを私たちの獲物にしても。
can we take Shannon as our prey?
ああ、構わんぞ、好きにし
Oh, I don't mind. Do as you like.
お前たちの悪時期にはカノン一人では足らなかろうしな。
It seems Cannon alone isn't enough to satisfy your gluttony. You do have all
あり
7
が
of
た
the
き幸
sins.
せ。
You have our deepest gratitude.
さあ、シャシャリ出てきたことを後悔させてやろ
I'll
う。
make you regret coming out uninvited.
どっちがどっちかわからないくらいの肉片にして。
I'll turn you into scraps of meat so unrecognizable you won't be able to tell which is which. Are we gonna get threats from all 7?
混ぜてミンチにしてハンバーグにしてあげる。
I'll mix you and mix you and mince you into hamburgers.
バ
Delicious.
カね。それよりあの結界を破る方が先でしょうが。
The word translated as gluttony was Akajiki, the old name of the island. Interesting. Idiot. Breaking the barrier should come first, right?
類似より先に仕事しなさい。
Don't let your gluttony get in the way of your job.
お姉さん。
Yes, One-sama. Alright, here we go. As the horribly natural first action, the 7 sisters began destroying the barrier Shannon created. Her barrier certainly was strong. It was powerful enough to impress even Beatrice. With its strength, frail furniture would turn to dust by touching it, and it was firm like a tree with deep roots. But no matter how big a tree gets, it'll eventually surrender to a saw or a hatchet. And for the 7 sisters, chopping down Shannon's barrier would be annoying, but not impossible. She's ineffective, so her barrier's ineffective at disintegrating them? Alright. A sound like beetles jumping around grew fiercer and filled the room. The barrier began to be cut and eroded away as though with a hatchet, a saw, a chainsaw by now.
How
foolish. Even though you must know your barrier can't fully protect you from these girls. Why?
見過ごせないか
I
らで
think
す。
she's wasting time. Did you just hop in without a plan and just decide to sit there and die? Surely you got a plan, Shannon. Or at least coming up with one, like a counterattack. You're like, how do I deal with all 7 of them? I'll try this. Yeah, she can disintegrate goats, but not these stronger minions. That seems to be the case. I couldn't overlook it. As Shannon covered Cannon, who was already at his limit, sprawled on the floor, she spoke back resolutely.
シャシャリでなければ眠るような死を与えてやったのに。
If you hadn't barged in uninvited, I would have given you a death like
な
sleep.
ぜわざわざ七姉妹の前に身をさらすのか。
Have you gone through the trouble of exposing yourself before the 7 sisters?
死は同じではないぞ。
Not all
苛
deaths are
烈
the
な
same.
死は死してなお苛むぞ。
A cruel death will cause more anguish than really dying.
どうぞお好きなように
Do as you
あな
like.
たがしたいことを好きにするように
As you always
私
do
も
as
したい
you
こ
want.
とを好きにしたまでです
I do as I wanted. I did as I wanted as you do.
どうにもそなたはこのところ面白みに欠けるな。
At any rate, you're not quite amusing at the present
恋と
moment.
いうやつは達するかどうかのあたりが一番面白い。
Romance is most
達して
interesting.
しまった後の女は
Stop talking.
さながら
Romance
産
is
卵を
most.
終えた鮭の
Stop
よう
talking,
だし
Beatrice. I can't read text if you're gonna do multiple pages at once. Romance is most interesting when you're wondering whether or not it'll succeed. All the rom-com fans here getting roasted. Once it does succeed, a woman's like salmon who's finished laying its eggs.
そなたにはもう飽きた。
I'm already tired of you.
ありがとう
Thank
魔
you.
女から聞ける言葉で最も嬉しい言葉です
No words from which would make me happier.
ならせめて最後にわらは思いっきり喜ばせる死に方をしてみせろよ。
At least in the end, let me see you die in a truly entertaining manner.
七姉妹よ聞こえたな。
Seven sisters, you hear
シ
me?
ャノンの殺し方。お前たちの残虐の限りを見せてみよ。
Kill Shannon in a way that shows me the limits of brutality.
シャノン
Shannon.
申し訳ございません
My
やはり
apologies.
私には源氏様の高みには至れませんでした
In the end, I wasn't able to reach your level, Genji-sama.
姉さんはバカだ。
You're an
僕なん
idiot,
か放ってお
Nason.
けば姉さんまでひどい目に遭うことは。
Just let me be. You might have not had to meet a horrible end.
ううん
Guess she would have reached one
いい
anyway.
のジョージ様に指輪をもらって女として生きられた
It's fine. I received a ring from George-sama and lived as a
あなた
woman.
をかばって姉として生きられた
I protected you and lived as a
私
sister.
の生はすべてこれで未練
This,
な
my
く
life
全う
is
した
complete. No regrets.
なあイライラするぜ。
Pissing me
こ
off.
の達観が本当にイラつくぜ。
He doesn't like that philosophical take and says it's really
だ
irritating.
から家具なんだよ。お前からは人間の匂いがしねえんだよ。
Like I said, your furniture, you don't even smell like a human.
わらわを見ろよ。わらわが
What do you mean,
家
I'm
具のくせに。わらわよりも完成されたかのような、達観したかのようなことを言うんじゃねえ。
Don't spout off philosophical crap like you're more complete than I am, furniture. Alright.
醜い
How
その
ugly.
未練があなたの正体なの
Are those regrets what you truly are?
未練じゃねえ。それが生きるってもんだ。
Bayato can't decide if she counts as human or not, huh? Seems to be the case. I mean, in this case, I don't think she's saying she's human, though. I think she's like, I think she's saying in a mocking voice, like the equivalent of, oh, look at me, I'm human. Yeah, don't spit off that philosophical bullshit. Like, Beato isn't saying she's human, she's mocking Shannon, who's saying she's human. Also, she explicitly stated there's 18 people on the island, like 3 scenes ago. 18 humans on the island, like 3 scenes ago, so she can't have it, cake and eat it. But that read makes way more sense. She's basically just roasting Shannon. And then Shannon shoots back with this, how ugly are those regrets we truly are? And Beatrice is just like, oh, it's called living.
指輪もらったから死んでもいいとか。
What's this about now minding if you die because you were given a ring?
理解できねえ。さっぱりがっかり愕然呆然。全然ダメだぜ。
I can't understand it. It's like incomprehensible, disappointing, outrageous, stunning, it's all useless.
お嬢様少し品がないかと
Lady, perhaps you're acting a tad undignified.
うるさいわ家具が。
Shut up, furniture.
シャノン。楽に死なせてもらえると思うなよ。
Shut up, furniture. Shannon, do you think I'll let you die so easily?
舌を噛むなら今のうちだ。
Now's the time to bite your tongue.
哀れね
That's
も
pitiful.
しも私の目にあなたのその姿が映ってそ
If
れ
you
が
could
見
see
える
yourself reflected in
こ
my
の
eyes.
醜さにおののくといい
Shudder at your own ugliness.
安心しろよ。
Oh, fear not. Once I've crushed you up, you'll be more ugly even when you still live. Oh, okay. Even while you still live. Damn, alright. At that time, Genji softly entered the red barrier. Perhaps the barrier didn't block those without ill intent? He gently held her from behind and covered her eyes with his right hand.
源氏様
Genji,
十分だ。
you've already done enough.
先に休みなさい。
Go to sleep before me.
はいありがとうございます源氏様
Thank you very much, Genji. Indeed. After that, Genji softly pressed his left hand near her collarbone. As he did, emanating from that area, a crimson stain gently spread out. When Genji removed his hand, bright red, fresh blood oozed out of there. It only happened for the first instant, and it was shaped like a crimson rose. When he removed his right hand covering her face, there was a peaceful expression there as though she was sleeping. And then she fell softly, silently, and slept. Her soul had already been sent to a world where the malicious witch and her furniture could not reach her. Press X to doubt. Anyway, no matter how evilly they tortured her, can't she revive the dead? That's where we've been already. Like, wait, that's been like the plot of like the 3 stories. She can res the dead. This is a stupid line to say, but okay. No matter how much they torture her, she's been left. This scene left Beatrice and the 7 sisters stunned. I'm stunned because it's claiming her soul is beyond Beatrice's reach, when Beatrice has been shown to resurrect the dead. That's a bit weird. Alright. Only Ronove wore a mysterious smile, and then Genji leaned over to Kanon, who was crouching on the floor.
よく頑張った。お前ももう
You
休
did
む
well.
といい。
You should sleep now, too.
はいありがとうございますケンジ様
Thank you, Genji-sama. As he had done with Shannon, he covered Kanon's eyes with his hand and gently pressed the area around Kanon's collarbone with his other hand. And when his hand was removed with the lightness of a feather, there was a crimson rose there. The rose shape quickly turned into the stain of bright red blood pouring out.
何よそれつまらぬやつ
What a boring
生
person.
命の風船は針にてつき威勢よく割るから面白いのだろうが
Even though it's so fun to poke the balloon of life with a needle so it forcefully explodes.
見事です、源氏。
Spectacular,
それで
Genji.
こそ家具です。
Truly our furniture.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much.
それではベアトリーチェ様、ロノウェ様、
Well then, Beatrice-sama,
こ
Ronove-sama.
れをもって私の最後のお務めとし、おいとまをさせていただきます。
With this as my final task, allow me to rest.
わらわの楽しみを勝手に奪いおって
Damn you, snatching away my fun. But Genji, solving problems because he's getting bored of how he's like, Genji's just like, my god, these people are so embarrassing. Here I am trying to appropriately transfer my leadership over to Beatrice, who just casually asked me to die. Oh, that's all she asked. And these guys gotta make a mess of this. And he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna clean this up. Or did I miss a line where she's like, someone fucking kill these two, and Genji did it? Did I miss a line where he just axed them? Ah, that's too far back. Too bad. Where Beatrice just said kill them? Oh, well. Damn you, snatching away my
こ
phone.
の二人をギッタギタのぐっちゃぐちゃにしたかった分
Why didn't I take all the thrashing and mashing I want to do to them?
そなたがそれを変わるのであろうな
And give it to you instead. Beatrice faced him with an unsatisfied expression, but Ronove spoke quietly to Genji with a soothing smile.
ご苦労でした。
Before
あなた
time,
は私の最高のしもべです。
you are my greatest
これまで
servant.
の労をねぎらうに値する安らかな眠りを
As a final
あな
gift,
たへ
I'll
の
bestow upon you a
最後
peaceful
の褒美
sleep,
として取らせましょ
fitting for all the labors you've performed.
おい、勝手
Wait,
な
it's
真似
not
を
your place to... When Ronobe snapped his fingers, Genji slumped to the floor like a puppet with its strings cut. Suddenly, and yet gently, he crumpled, falling into a sleep no witch could call him back from. It was as filled with kindness as the sleep he'd given Shannon and Cannon. Or Shannon and Cannon, if you'd prefer.
なんだよ、ロノウェイ。
Is that
通し
Ronobe?
抜けでつまらぬぞ。
What a boring anticlimax.
お嬢様は偉大なる大魔女ではございませんか。
You're not a mighty great witch, milady.
この程度気に留めるほどにもございませんよ。
What happened here is hardly worthy of your concern.
シャノンごときの挑発で頭に血を上らせるなどら
It
し
isn't
くない。
like you to let the provocation of someone like Shannon get to you. And she's just like, fuck this out. What was it that had Beatrice so irritated? Was she still unable to remove the thorn of Shannon's words? Runaway laughed lightly as though lamenting the complexity of humanity in a woman's heart and ordered the seven sisters to go. After that, there were still 2 sacrifices left for the first twilight. The 7 sisters disappeared in ecstasy. At what? They fucked up super hard. Alright. It is 12:20. So 0020? Hours? 20 hours, I guess. They get to do 2 more murders. Do the 7 sisters do the murders? Goda was doing the nighttime rounds. Rock and Shima had always been empty except for the Ishiramiya family household, so checking the doors and windows were all closed had no real purpose. However, ever since the time Natsuhi had condemned such an attitude as being careless, the nighttime rounds had become part of servants' daily routines. In the first place, Natsuhi had ordered this because of the occasional witch disturbances. Everyone who came and left this island knew about the legend of Beatrice, Witch of the Forest. It had become established as the island's characteristic ghost story. Because of that, it was only natural that some people would claim that when they thought they were alone in this mansion, they'd hear a strange sound or see a shadow of a person. However, when that created a little too much of a disturbance and reached Natsuhi's ears, she made a fuss, thinking some suspicious person might have been entering and leaving. Apparently, she aroused all the servants and had them check throughout the mansion. Because all that panic over the witch happened before Goda's arrival, he'd only heard about it from the more senior servants. Ghost stories like that could be found in any workplace. Even at the hotels and restaurants Goda had worked at, there had been plenty of them, so when he heard about the story on this island, he'd given a forced smile thinking, oh, they have that thing here after all. The forced smile aside, he figured that when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and took it seriously. He went along with it on the outside, but in his heart he assumed it to be a childish trick. At first, that is.
これは確かに不気味ですね。
Certainly is eerie.
なるほど。過去の使用人たちがいろいろと騒ぎたくなる気持ちもわかる
You
も
can
のです。
see why it was so easy for past servants to get into a panic. You can understand how someone doing the rounds on an eerie night like this might believe they saw a ghost if they saw a lace curtain waving in the breeze from a window that hadn't been closed.
肖像画の魔女をバカにするとたたりがあるか。
And if you make fun of the Witch of the Portrait, there's a
大
curse.
怪我をして辞めた使用人もいるらしいし、
Seems there's a servant who received a serious injury and quit.
怪我は勘弁だな。
I wouldn't want
俺
that.
もこの年だ。
Think of my
二度と
age.
こんな厚遇の職場には恵まれねえだろうよ。
I probably won't be granted a workplace this hospitable ever again.
肖像画の魔女様、
Witch of the
真面目に
Portrait.
働きますんで、一つ穏便に頼みます。
I'm working sincerely, so please give me some peace. Goda prayed to the portrait, his hands together as though he was at a Shinto shrine. Looks like he's getting no peace tonight. At that time, he thought he heard a sound. The kitchen, perhaps? Was that the sound of some metal falling on the floor? Maybe a mouse or cockroach came out and knocked over some of the dishes? How could that be? It's usually cleaned thoroughly. Thinking he'd check out the noise, or what the noise had really been, Goda entered the kitchen. He turned on the kitchen light, and when he did, he heard a strange sound. A bunch of clanking. To a cook like Goda, the sound felt like the lid on a pressure cooker or something shaking, Surely there wouldn't be a pot on the burner when no one was in the kitchen. Even if someone was using the gas, walking away from it would be quite dangerous. Just in case, he decided to inspect the area around the gas range.
何ですか
What's this?
これは
When he did, in the corner with the gas range. The pressure cooker really had been set out just as he thought, but the flame wasn't on, and yet the lid was clanking. Was something fermenting and leaking gas? How could that be? When there was a mouse or something inside? How could there be? Ridiculous. When people were watching, Goda acted as though he had a bold personality fitting for his build, but he actually had an unexpectedly timid side to him. He was frightened there might be something inside, and he couldn't bring himself to check it carelessly. In his cowardice, he grabbed a nearby wooden pestle, and with a clunk, he tapped it a little forcefully against the side of the pressure cooker. When he did, the clanking sound suddenly stopped. He should have been relieved that it stopped, but the fact that it stopped when he hit it was even more eerie and made him more suspicious about what was inside. And you're thinking, there's a stake of purgatory in there?
この世に
That's what they're trying to make you
怪
think,
奇
right?
現象なんて存在しませんとも。
Mysterious phenomena do not exist.
そんな魔女も魔法もそんなもの存在するわけがない。
Witches and magic, things like that couldn't possibly exist.
すべての現象は科学的に説明できるんです。
All phenomena can be explained with
お
science.
化けも魔女もいてたまるもんですか。
As if monsters and witches exist. He repeated the phrase many times, trying to build up his own confidence. The gap between what he was saying and what he was doing was rather comical.
何が魔女だ。何が魔法だ。たたりだ。
Who would believe in a witch? Who would believe in magic or
そ
curse?
ら、
Come on,
正体を見せてみろ。
show me what you really are.
そら。
Take that. He removed the lid of the pressure cooker, and lying exposed there was the sparkling, clean silver bottom of the pot. There was nothing frightening like he imagined. See?
そりゃ当然です。
They're trying to make you think it.
中に何もいるわけがない。
Come on, let's see it. I want the surprise. It's like after he's recovered, he's relaxed, bam, dead. It's only natural. There's no way there could be anything inside. By now, Goda realized he'd been a coward, so while he still had some doubts as to what caused the lid to make the sound, he figured it wasn't a big problem and decided not to worry about it too much. Then he took the lid he grabbed and softly set it back down where it had been. It's fine, it won't make a sound. Of course it won't. As if witches or magic could exist. Clank. Clank, clank, clank. Clank, 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 clank. The clanking resumes. That's a lot of clanking, oh my goodness. All the pots and dishes in the kitchen started clanking at once. It grew even stronger so that finally the lid of one of the pots fell off, and from inside the pot a slender white arm reached out. Lids fell off the other pots one after another, and another, and another. Can we get a picture of this? Arms coming out of just small pots?
魔女なんかいるもん
I
か。
think witches could exist.
信じるもんか。
As if I'd believe it. When the number of arms grew to 7, a loud, shrill laughter split the air.
がっかり。
What a letdown.
これほどの美味しいお料理を作れる人がこんな小物なんて本当にがっかり。
It's too bad someone who can make such delicious food in such a lightweight.
あんたいらないなら私がもらうわ。いっただ
I've got
き。
one. It's all mine.
ちょっとダメだってば。
I said no.
私がもらうんだから。
I'll take it. He's gone. We knew that was coming. We knew that was coming. Come on, let's search. There's only one more. The old hag. Now where is she? She's not in the mansion. What about the guest house? First one wins. First one wins, right? No one's died in the guest house yet. That's interesting. Search her, find her. Don't be noticed by relatives in the dining hall, right? Don't get noticed by kids in the guest house. Search in silence. Kill in silence. After all, it's still just the first Twilight. She isn't in the guest house, but she wasn't in the mansion either, right? I found her. She's in the rose garden. Why is she standing around there without an umbrella? She's already given it. It's all mine. You blockheads can't just sit there and watch. I told you this was mine. If we take any longer, we'll be scolded by Beatrice. Let's take care of it all at once. And there, found her. Surround her. Come on, let's get along and do it all at once, alright? Die. Huh? Note that there's no rain. What? What is this? What's naughty girl? You wouldn't happen to be friends with that child, would you? Just what is this old hat? Gotta be a mistake. One more time. Kumasawa's been killed before. Kumasawa's been killed before, so this is strange. Why can she defend against us? Move aside. One more time. No matter how often you try, it won't work. This person's good. Waiting for that child. Do you mind calling for her? Expect us to run errands for you like that? There's no need for that. Beatrice-sama. Beatrice. After all, even I have manifested by now. I was certain you awakened. So, Kumasawa cannot be killed by the Seven Sisters? It's been a while. A truly long time. This person's talking to Ronobe without using Sama? And it's been a long time since I saw you too. Beatrice. Not even using Sama for Beatrice? No. Don't you know who this is? The name Beatrice itself is hers. I only inherited it from her. This is my teacher. The previous Lady Beatrice. Previous Lady Beatrice? Gold butterflies appeared in ones and twos from the Garden of Roses and began to gather around Kumasawa, and after she was wrapped in a golden sparkle, she burst and disappeared, and Kumasawa's form was no longer there. Instead, there was another golden witch, the one who once taught the path of an endless witch to Beatrice. The only person Beatrice ever called teacher. Her hair was long, beautiful, and vividly youthful. Two of them. Two Beatrices! And her figure in that elegant dress couldn't possibly have been mistaken for an old lady. This looked like a completely different person from Kumasawa. And yet she's still going to die because we've had Kumasawa die before. Well, well, teacher. I never dreamed we'd meet each other again. Neither did I. I certainly never dreamed my sleep would be disturbed.
厄介なところでお目覚めになられる。
A troublesome time for you to
い
awaken.
つもの通りお休みであられたなら、第一の晩を何も手こずることなく終えられるのに。
If you remained asleep as usual, the first twilight could have ended without much trouble.
いや、むしろ歓迎
Or
すべきですか
perhaps
ら。
I should be glad you're
少
here.
々退屈しておりましたところで。
I was getting a tad bored.
相変わらず悪趣味な遊びで罪もない人々をもてあそんでいるよう
As
です
usual, you're
ね。
toying with sinless people in a
無
vulgar
限の
game.
魔女の力は決して人に迷惑をかけることに使ってはならない
I
と
believe I taught you
何
several
度も教え
times.
たはずですよ。
The power of the endless must not be used to cause people trouble.
そう言うなよ、お師匠
Don't say
様。
that, teacher.
退屈は私たち
It's
の天
important.
敵じゃあ
Our
りません。
natural enemy.
それから逃れるための
Is there a
ちょ
little
っとし
spice
た
to
スパイ
escape
ス
from
に
that?
過ぎませんよ。
Wasn't that a terrible argument, Beatrice, to the teacher? Couldn't you just turn around and say, well, he is holding me hostage on this island. I do have to kill him and complete his ritual, or he's not satisfied. I don't really have a choice. I tried killing myself. I converted myself to a spirit. But apparently, you're still around.
侵食が進めば進むほ
And
ど
apparently,
わらわの
Kumasawa is
力は
also his
強くなり
agent, so he also
わ
has
ら
the
わの
previous
眷属は呼び
Beatrice.
出しやすくなる。
The more corrosion advances, the stronger my power becomes, the easier it becomes to summon my
しか
minions.
しそれは同時にお師匠様の封印を解くことにもつなが
Who would
る。
have thought it would release the seal on you, teacher, at the same time?
それを予見していたからこそ
It's precisely because I predicted such a thing would
私は
happen
こうしてあなたのすぐ近くで眠りについ
that
た
I
の
slept
です
so close to where you were.
願わくば二度と起こされぬことを夢見ながら
Though I prayed in my sleep, I would not be woken again.
こうしてあなたと再会してしまったのは
Being
私
reunited
にとっ
with
て
you like
は
this is
と
a
ても
sad thing for
悲
me.
しいことです相変わらずお師匠様は
Beatrice the younger is making really bad arguments to Beatrice the older. That easily could have destroyed her. Wasn't she just arguing that she was a master of logic and that witches exist to battle her not 5 minutes ago? Hurry up and kill her. Cunning as always, teacher.
炉の上家具の子たちを下げなさい。
Have the young
家
furniture
具は
step in.
主に仕えるだけです。
Furniture only
すべ
serves
て
its
の罪
master,
は主が背負います。
and the master is responsible for all her crimes.
かしこまりました。マダム
Certainly.
ベアトリーチェ。
Madame Beatrice.
その名はもうその子に譲りました。
I've already passed that name on to this child.
下がりなさい。
Come now,
家
step
具の
back.
娘たち。
Furniture girl.
私は一度聞かぬとしても二度言います。
I may give warnings a second time if you do not
し
listen
か
to
し
the first.
三度目は口にしませんよ。
Do not expect a third.
下
Alright,
がりなさい。煉獄の七姉妹。
step back, seven sisters of
巻き添い
purgatory.
になれば塵と化しますよ。
If you get dragged into this, only dust will remain.
下がれみんな。
Heck, everyone. Runaway and the seven sisters retreated. After that, what remained was Beatrice, whose daring expression didn't falter, and teacher Beatrice, who'd given up the name and wore a composed smile.
さーて、
Well then,
お師匠様、
Teacher?
久しぶりの再会にはどんなお茶の
what
ご用
tea
意
shall
が
I
良い
prepare
か
for our
な。
long-awaited reunion?
そうですね。
Let's
大
see.
木星の訪れよりも久しい再会です。
It was longer in coming than the visit of a
もてな
comet.
してもらいましょうか。
Perhaps I'll accept your hospitality.
粗相があるようならば、我が名と
And if it
返
seems a
して
mistake
もらい
from
ま
me,
すよ。
I'll have you return my name and title of the Endless Witch.
無限の魔女にも免許更新制度があったとはな。
Ah, so even the title of Endless has a license renewal policy, I see.
仰せのままに。
As you wish,
あなた
teacher.
の弟子がどれほど立派になっ
See how
た。
splendid your disciples
そして
become, and see how far
幸
she
福の
surpassed
昔
you
にど
long
れほ
ago.
どあなたを凌駕したか、とくとご覧に入れましょう。
The air between the two Beatrices exploded with sparks. Just by glaring at each other, they purged all spirits from that space. Not bad, not bad. Hello, my friend. How's it going? As they watched, the seven sisters shivered. After all, if they'd retreated just 3 steps less than they had, they would have already been turned to dust right now.
さあいらっしゃいベアトリーチェ
Beatrice.
あなたにその名を譲ったことが私の生涯でただ一度の後悔です
Surrendering my name to you is the only regret
そ
I
の
have
過
in life.
ちを今自らの手で修正しましょう
I will now correct that error by my own hands. I mean, you gave her that name. When did you give her that name? In the last 2 centuries? When you gave her that name so she could be imprisoned? Okay.
そりゃあ違
Got it
う
wrong?
ぜお師匠様わらわのただ一度の過ちは
I
こ
only
の
err.
程度の力を学ぶのにあんたに弟子入りしちまったことだぜ
You got it wrong, teacher. My only error was becoming your disciple in the hopes of gaining such a puny level of power. Get it?
なんだ魔
What are you calling
法
magic?
何が無限の魔女だ
What are you calling the
こ
endless
んな
witch?
の気づくだけの力じゃねえかよ
All you've got is a power that can be gained by noticing,
そ
right?
れをもったいぶって偉そうによ
And you act as though it's so great and
お前
impressive.
の出番はとっくに終わってんだよ
Your
お
turn's
師匠
long over,
様よ
teacher. Alright, well, then, end it. I don't know what's going on anymore. Background music, pink red shoes, good to know. On the world's happening in front of your eyes. Who knows? In reality, Kumasawa pulls a knife and fights off 7 people. And then Beatrice comes to murder her. You got a co-parter, battler. Remember, the magic's not real. That's the entire plot of this story. Poor
私
thing.
の弟子が迷惑をかけていますね
Seems my disciples caused
謝
me
り
trouble.
ます
I apologize. In reality, Kumasawa pulls out a gun. Why did Kumasawa turn into a Neichan like this? Seriously, who are you? What kind of special effects are these? My head feels like it's gonna explode.
私はあの子の魔女の師匠
I'm the
です
witch teacher of that child. My old name was
あ
Beatrice.
の子が私を継ぐときにその名を
When she succeeded me, I gave up my name, so I have no name of my own. I see. How is this supposed to work otherwise? I thought the previous Beatrice committed suicide. I guess they're saying she didn't kill herself and she lived as a maid because she got old or something? So is this the one that gave her the gold? Like, I'm trying to think of how is this realistically work out, quote unquote. Like you said, your disciple's been a real pain for me. Shut the fuck up, Butler. Make up your mind about what fucking mysteries we're investigating. Take responsibility and do something. No, wait. I don't believe in stuff like this. As if witches and magic exist. I won't accept this messed up battle. What do I believe? Just like you. Hospitality with a quick temper. I expect nothing less from you, Kumasawa. Kumasawa? It seems this is so trivial to you, so don't even feel like you don't even feel like opening your eyes. I doubt you'll be able to win unless you prepare to wreck this whole island, right? Arise, shoulder war towers. In response to Beatrice's summons, a terrific earth tremor split the rose garden, and on either side of her shoulders, 2 massive war towers sprouted and stabbed into the heavens. They stretched up to 100 meters tall and had over 360 ports. They were war towers of the gods' army corps, which had prevented even groups of ancient heroes from invading their sacred grounds. As Beatrice elegantly floated in the gap between the two-headed towers, she looked down on her teacher, sneering with a sense of superiority. With the two massive towers lined up behind her shoulders, she looked small, like a butterfly dancing between huge trees. Don't think you can dodge by turning into butterflies. The density of the Twin Towers barrage wouldn't just make you a pinned bug sample, it'd make you a madly stamped pincushion. Over 170 20 ports opened on the towers, and godly soldiers readied their multi-shot ballistas. Well, fire. That's the end of your turn. Famous last words. Blast away. That's 2 or 3 images. Anyway, the ballista shots that numbered over 1,000 were fired at once, drawing a beautiful geometric curtain of death. The boorish sound as bowstrings were played was probably even deeper than that of a reaper swinging its scythe. Rise, fallen tower. Split the single language and let the sin be known. The sky was stained incandescent red, and from between the clouds, a blazing massive tower fell upside down. The massive tower and its rubble sucked in the thousands of ballista shots, so not even one approached the body of the witch who summoned it. That's right, no group of people, no matter how large, could approach the mysteries of heaven. And that was the reality of the fallen tower. As expected from you, teacher. If you do something, always do a pig. Alright. My turn isn't over. Arise, sons of Vivaldi. Bestow upon me a worthy spear. Mothered maid, alright. As the massive crimson tower that had fallen from made a terrible gold-colored explosion, a massive spear appeared from inside those flames. So tall like a tower, you had to look up to see all of it. It was too large even for a giant's hand. That divinely beautiful spear of the gods was so massive, it gave the illusion the fallen tower had turned into a spear of the same size. It was a spear of certain victory none could escape. Looks like your twin towers won't help you now. How foolish to block off your means of escape on both sides. You can't defend against a single spear. She snapped her fingers in command. The massive tower-sized spear shot at Beatrice like a lightning bolt. Your twin towers won't help you now. Yeah, twin towers. It aimed right for the precision, or right for the middle of the center of the Golden Witch's heart with extreme precision, as she danced in the gap between the towers like a butterfly, slicing straight through the air like a flash of lightning. You use Gungnir at a moment like this? Incredible, teacher. First useless towers. Arise, giant soldier of Babylon. Block that divine spear with your shields and chest. The shoulder war towers exploded in gold, becoming several billion gold butterflies. They took the shape of 7 massive armored soldiers, each stretched a full 50 meters into the sky, and they lined up in front of Beatrice, protecting their master, holding massive shields that towered like windmills. Hi. They were as massive as a mountain range, which behind them was like a small moon hiding behind the mountains. Once in the past, when the massive shields these giants held had been readied by the whole regiment, they protected King Wilhelm's castle not only from arrows, but from the wind and rain. For when they faced upwards and held their shields to the heavens, not a single raindrop had gotten through. Shame of a witch who forgot to respect things sacred. Did you think mere giants could defend against the spear of the gods?
道理ですね。人間の金属でいくら武装しようとも神の槍は防げません。
No matter how much human metal you're armed with, you cannot block a spear of the
マダ
gods.
ムの見事なエポレットメイトです。
A wonderful epaulet mate by Madame.
そんなベアトリーチェ様。
もちろん忘れませんともお師匠様。
Of course I haven't forgotten, teacher.
さあさあおいでなさい。ヘパイストスと弟子たち。
Arise, disciples of Hephaestus.
我にふさわしき盾を与えたまえ。
Bestow upon me a worthy shield. A golden whirlwind arose at the feet of the giant soldiers. It was a cloud of countless butterflies. They attached themselves to the massive shields like gold leaves, sparkling like they were a gold mirror. It was the absolute defensive wall given to a goddess by the chief of the gods, the Ageless Shield. When the holy spear, which left a dignified trail behind it like a comet, crashed into the mountain range of that gold shield, there was a terrible thunderous roar, the creaking of the pillars that held up the heavens. The divine spear spun around and around and was sent flying in the direction of the setting sun.
ありえない。
She defended against the spear and has 7 agents for which to attack. Yes.
いいえ、違いま
Not
す。
correct.
神なる槍が避けたんです。
The divine spear
絶
avoided
対
her.
の槍と絶対の盾は
It is
争
the
って
law
はい
of
け
the
ないものが
gods.
神並みの掟。
An absolute spear and an absolute shield must never fight one another.
それはつまり防いだのと同じことですがね。
Although in the end it means the same thing as defending against it.
このような荒事ばかり腕を上げました。
Your skills have improved from engaging in these fights so often.
むしろお師匠様はこういうお遊びが相変わらず苦手なよう。
Rather, it seems you're still as bad as ever at this kind of game, teacher.
わらわからのお返しだ。
It's my turn to strike
法
back.
典にのっとり、槍には槍でお返ししましょう。
I'll follow the code and counter a spear with a spear. The giant soldier battle line, which had fully blocked the divine spear, released its holy gold shields. They fell to the earth, making the ground shake. Alright. I would have assumed she just has them attack. But alright. When they did, another gold whirlwind arose, and the 7 gold shields changed into 7 massive spears of lightning lying on the ground. At once, each giant lifted one of their legs high and firmly stomped the tips of the handles. As the earth shook with a thunderous sound, the 7 lightning spears spun beautifully and flew up above the giant soldiers' heads. They scattered into a golden splash and began falling before the giants. Each of the giants squared off with the force of their whole body. They kicked and smashed them. The broken pieces numbered exactly 30, becoming lightning spears of exactly the same size as the originals, which made 210 for the 7 giants, and all burst at once, with each splitting into 30 thorns for a total of 6,300. It became a barrage of thunderclouds, drawing a beautiful geometric pattern, each changed into 3 bolts of lightning, so that 18,900 thunderbolts shot at the predecessor Beatrice. Alright. That's a lot of lightning bolts. It's over! Oh, the classic anime response. It's over! Yeah, after the first blow, it's over. Alright.
さすがやりますね。
I expect nothing less
まだでは。
from us. The bundle of almost 20,000 thunderbolts must have reduced the teacher's body to death. If there'd been no resistance, Beatrice knew immediately she'd been fooled. At that time, from the direction the sun had supposedly set, she felt the impossible rays of sunlight. A brilliant ray of light shone on her profile. It was the figure of her teacher holding aloft the spear of the gods that had supposedly been repelled a short while ago. She bore a sparkle like the sun on her back and made it shine on the incarnation of darkness. As Beatrice watched, she was trapped like a mouse in a cage, cornered in the dead end formed by the giant soldier battle line. By now, the predecessor Beatrice had seized a portion directly alongside that line.
これでお遊戯の時間はおしまいですよ、ベアトリーチェ。
Playtime is over, Beatrice. Have I?
もうわらわが側面を許しただと。
Was my flank? Her bold expression hadn't faltered even once, but now it twisted for the first time. And faster than Beatrice could click her tongue, the predecessor Beatrice released the holy spear. As it leapt through the air, it changed its form once more.
さあさあおいでなさいドベルグの兄弟たち
Arise, Vergar brothers. Alright.
我に巨人を砕き天の鉄槌を与えたまえ
The Iron Hammer of Heaven.
巨人兵どもわらわを守れ
Giant soldiers protect me?
何をしているかノロマども
What are you doing, blockhead? By now, it was no longer a spear, but the whirlwind of a massive hammer that raised a sound like a windstorm as it flew through the air. It was the legendary hammer that had shaken even the king of the frost giants. So even the giant shoulders couldn't escape from that fear. Regardless of how strongly their master ordered them, they couldn't get in the path of that hammer.
バックランクメイト
Back rank mate? Alright.
安らかに眠りなさい
Rest in peace.
しょ
Damn it. Alright. Before the whirlwind of that massive chunk of metal, Beatrice was nothing more than a speck. The instant the whirlwind started to suck her in, she appeared to change into a massive war tower. The iron hammer smashed the tower, scattering tremendous amounts of rubble, but it didn't reach who she escaped behind it. Furthermore, when the smoke started to settle, the tower sucked in the massive hammer without crumbling and blocked the way. Even the giant smashing iron hammer couldn't break through the final tower protecting the witch. But this tower was actually the witch's last trump card, a war tower for dodging that could only save her from danger once. But it was impregnable. No weapon could break through it. At that time, the moon disappeared, as Beatrice hid in the shadows of the giant soldier battle line, and the war tower she looked at the sky. When she did, inside the moon was the figure of a massive horse ridden by the god of war and death. The predecessor Beatrice rode the horse with him. His cloak blocked the moon and swallowed it in an eerie shadow, and the spear of the gods was in his hands once more. In other words, a godly knight who jumped over the ramparts, borne by the giant soldiers in the war tower, attacking from the heavens. Smothered maid? Again?
やられ
You
た
got me.
スマザードメイ
Smothered me.
ト楽しかったですよベアトリーチ
It was fun, Beatrice. The struggle to the death between the two witches with the same name was over. So the plot's over. Beatrice is dead. Yeah, that's not likely to happen. The spear that had been launched from the heavens pierced the ground. The giant soldier battle line in the war tower split up into countless gold butterflies, wrapping the area in a gold-colored storm. And then came the sound of thunder and the sound of falling rain and wind. If you looked around, the rose garden was empty. The butler and the rest were watching the two witches confronting each other, but Beatrice alone had changed. She was pierced straight through by the spear from the base of her neck and right shoulder to her left buttocks, unable to even reach the ground with her feet. Horribly exposed like a pitiful pinned butterfly tormented by the wind and rain.
ベアトリーチェ様
Beatrice-sama.
さすが
As
恐
expected.
ろしいお方です
Truly fearsome person.
これで決着です
That settles
ベア
it.
トリーチ
Beatrice. Ouch. Beatrice wore a bitter smile of false courage, but a strand of blood dangled from her mouth, making her look
無
more
限の
pitiful.
魔女の称号と力
Title and power of
そ
Endless
して
Witch,
ベアトリーチェの名を今こそ
Return them
返
to
し
me
てもら
now.
いましょう
along with the name
無限
Beatrice.
の魔女を語るにはお前は未熟が過ぎます
You're too immature to call yourself an Endless
や
Witch.
めて
Oh.
許しておくれよ
Forgive me, teacher.
とふざけたったわけじゃねえかよ
It's just fooling around, alright?
あなたから我が名を奪
I'll
い
have
ま
my
す
name back from
元
you.
の姿に戻してあげましょ
I'll return you to
う過ぎ
original
たる
form.
力を手放し己にふさわしい生を全うするがよいで
Perhaps
し
you
ょう
should relinquish this power which is beyond you and live a life suitable to yourself.
さあさあ思い出してごらんあなたがどんな姿をしてい
What
たの
form did you have? Predecessor Beatrice began to recite the words of power, and when she did, small gold butterflies gathered near the skewered Beatrice and began to swarm about her. Like butterflies sucking the nectar out of flowers, they began to suck the magical power out of Beatrice, and it seemed to cause her intense pain. A cry of anguish issued from Beatrice's mouth. She no longer had the power to resist it. Try closing your eyes. Try to remember. What form did you have? Come on, Beatrice. Repeat it with me. Let's sing a song together. It'll be over soon. Let's end your pain as fast as possible. You're right. How long has it been since I sung with you, teacher? Okay. I'm together now. Try to remember. What form did you have? Come, try to remember. What form did you have? Alright. When the two of them began reciting the same song more and more, gold butterflies danced around, swarming around Beatrice. You'll be alright, my lady. You lose your place as my disciple, but that will not change the fact you are the lady I serve. After that, I read a book for you again. I'll bake you an apple pie once more, just like it was long ago. Try to remember. Yeah, try to remember. Finally starting to remember. You sure? Did you remember? The thing behind you? What is this? When the predecessor Beatrice looked behind her, there was an eerie hedgehog curled up there. No, it was herself. There was another predecessor Beatrice whose body had been packed with ballista shots, lying there like a pincushion doll. Come, try to remember. What form did you have? Or perhaps that's not right. Come on, try to remember. How were you killed? The predecessor Beatrice was stunned. Her form gradually began fading. This is... When did you... At the beginning, I didn't summon a pair of shoulder towers. There were 4. Teacher, you carelessly stepped across the 7th rank rook boundary of death created by the 2 hidden towers. They were lurking in the distance on either side of you. It was bad manners of me to say check this blade. I simply must apologize. The battle had been decided at the very beginning. It had been over since the time the predecessor had leaned forward, readying her holy spear to attack Beatrice, who had been wedged between her shoulder towers. The hidden towers looking on either side bathed her in a windstorm of ballista shots from 720 ports on both sides, pinning and killing her. However, Beatrice hadn't wanted it to be resolved like that. She wanted to let her teacher take her next move, and continued acting as though the game was still on. She had immediately revived her with the endless power, and had made her continue the game as though nothing had happened. Then the predecessor slowly remembered she'd already been killed, and began to vanish completely. When she did, the spear that had pierced Beatrice also vanished. Beatrice finally landed on the ground. There wasn't even a trace of a scar. Well, it was fun. Teacher. If you want to play again, I'll revive you anytime. And once you've had some fun, I'll make you remember you're a corpse again. See? I did everything you told me to, right? Didn't you always tell me to put my toys back in their boxes when I'm done playing with them? I'm not sure how there's... That was a weird Yeah, the reverse King Crimson. Yeah, I'm not sure how there's supposed to be tension in that fight though. As we're like 80 plus hours into this game. There's no way in hell the big bad gets beaten by a good person and the story's over when there's like 5 more parts to go. Like, okay, she's obviously dead. Like, she's obviously dead. This doesn't succeed. Because we have to loop through this at least 5 more times before we even get a chance at winning, right? That said, I guess her being the old Beatrice doesn't really... was a bit of a surprise, I guess? I think it'd be hard to guess that. You could probably have guessed that she knew some magic, but whether that she was the old Beatrice was pretty hard to guess. Alright. That she was her teacher, that she, what, imprisoned on this island or put to sleep here? I don't fucking know. Was it an easy victory?
愚か新章だ
It was a tough one.
四つ子島で騙せてなかったら死んでおったのはわらわの方よ
If I hadn't tricked her with 4 towers, I would have been the one to.
さすがはお師匠様
As expected from teacher.
だがこれで胸が張れるとい
But
う
now I can stand proud.
わらわは今こそお師匠様を完全に超え
Yeah,
た
I've
と
completely surpassed teacher.
ロノウェ
Run
お
over
師
it?
匠様の亡骸をもう少しマシにしておけ
Clean up teacher's
わ
remains a
ら
bit.
わもそこまで敬意を失ってはおらぬで
I
な
haven't lost my respect for her that much.
かしこまりました。今宵の第一の晩は少々派手に暴れすぎました。
Tonight's first twilight has become a little too
少
riotous.
しは片付けも必要でしょう。
Some cleanup will be
すぐ
necessary.
に取り掛かります。
I'll see to it immediately.
ヤギたちよ、お
Goats,
片付けの時間
cleanup
です。
time. When Renove snapped his fingers, blazing, sparkling eyes began blinking open in the shadows and darkness, becoming goat-headed attendants that appeared one after another. So that's a really weird fight. I'm not sure how we justify that one. I guess... I assume they're repairing the torn-up landscape, but I'm thinking like, okay, so what would have actually happened here? The 7 sisters failed to kill. So like... She has a weapon and defends herself, I guess. Man, the amount of copium we have to go through to believe this isn't magic is like really fucking high. Alright. Goat-head attendants. One by one, they wordlessly stood in attention in a line behind Runaways' back.
この度は6人の遺体をどのようにいたしますか。
This time, what shall be done about the 6
また密
corpses?
室形式に。
Another closed room pattern?
わらわは今それを考
I'm
え
in no
る
mood
気
to
分
think
ど
now.
の上に任す
I'll leave it to you,
バ
Runaway.
トラーを悩ませるようなとびっきりの密室を頼むぞ
An extraordinary closed room to torment battler, if you would.
かしこまりました。それではとびきりの。
It shall be extraordinary. Alright.
そーれバトラーはどこだ
Okay, where's battler?
バトラーわらわの大活躍
Battler.
見た
Did you see my big moment? Did you see my big... What? Are you excited for Battler to have seen you doing something cool? What's going on, Beato?
今のめちゃくちゃな魔法の嵐を見せつけられて俺は何を
After
否
being
定すればいい
shown
ん
that
だ
screwed up magical storm, what can I deny? I don't know, but you're gonna have to come up with something, Battler, because that is literally the entire story, is proving that the witch doesn't exist.
魔女はいるも何も
Forget just
あん
witches
な
existed.
ドッカンドッカン
After being shown that tremendous flashy
凄まじい
fantasy,
ファンタジーを
what
見
can I
せつけら
deny
れ
now?
てもうわかんね
Why is he so much a battler? Because he doesn't believe in magic. And this is a guy who, when he unironically sees this wizard battle, or shit like this where she summons demons and has them walk through walls to murder people, is just like, yeah, that wasn't real, guys. That wasn't real. The door was unlocked, and it's like, he was holding the door closed. The door was unlocked. She put her hand through the door and started strangling him. there was the door was open, and you're like, oh god, here we go. It like, he goes really hard on the magic. It's like, Beatrice literally killed him, resurrected him in the afterlife, in her own personal pocket dimension, murdered his family like 5 times in front of them, and resurrected them repeatedly, and he's like, that's not magic, you're psychokinetic. Anyone can do that in the future. And you're like, okay. So the entire plot of this game is basically Battler saying that magic isn't real, so you have to prove that closed room tricks that are performed, Beatrice claims are performed by magic, are not real. And that they're actually performed by, like, real people. That's basically the whole premise of the game, with this meta-narrative of, supposedly Battler being resurrected. Like, it's really weird. Battler's in the afterlife. Battler's not in the afterlife. He's in Beatrice's personal pocket dimension, being tortured, and arguing that magic isn't real. But you're supposed to believe that magic's not real while this is happening. It's like a really fucking weird plot. And you have to make the assumption that, like, this entire scene we've spent 30 minutes watching, yeah, about 45 actually, isn't real, and that it was just like, Kumasawa had a knife! And that's your explanation for this entire scene, is that Kumasawa had a knife, and the unknown assailant, or assailants, because you don't know if there's... you don't know if the fucking knife-wielding maniacs that are the sisters are real, couldn't defeat Kumasawa immediately, or at least they got her with, like, some hidden weapon or something. Like, you have to really copium to figure out what's going on here.
前回もそうだが、このイーカス的なマジカルバトルをどう否定すりゃいいんだよ。
I don't get it. It was like that last time. How do I deny these awesome, wonderful, magical battles?
だよな。
Isn't that right?
こんなの見ちまったら、もう言い逃れはできねえもんな。
After watching this, you can't talk your way out of it, right?
さあ、バトラー。とんでも
Let's hear
しい
some
の
reasoning.
聞かせてくれよ。
Kumasawa had a pair of gardening shears. Done. I'm done. She's got a pair of gardening shears, and she wielded them as a defensive weapon against the assailant. That's the most sensible choice.
お嬢様、笑いに品がございませんよ。
Milady, your laugh is becoming undignified.
おお、こ
My
れは
apologies.
すまぬ。しかし、わらわの責任ではない
That's
ぞ。何しろバトラにキューッと両目を固く閉じてキリキリギリギリ歯ぎしりするなんとも悔しそうなその表情を見せられると。
If Battler tightly closes his eyes, grinds his teeth, and shows me that ever so bitter expression. Yeah, Kumasawa had a knife, Beato had a gun. That's the easy explanation, right? She has a knife to defend herself. She's in the open so she doesn't get killed by someone with a knife. And then the sounds of thunder and the lightning, all that stuff. Guess what guns sound like? Thunder in the distance. Done. Easy. It's not even hard. The assassin has a gun. Done. Like, you can cope as hard as you want until Beatrice pulls out the red text to tell you it's impossible. So, Battler, are you gonna force out some red text from Beatrice, or are you just gonna mope some more? Because I've already done your job for you. So, after all, if Battler closes his eyes, grinds his teeth, and shows me that ever so bitter expression,
自然とわらわの口からこぼれてしまうも
it
の
just
でな。
automatically slips out of my mouth, you see? Because Battler has to take the position that nothing he saw there was real, and there was some other explanation. So,
さあ、
come up
バ
with
トラ
something.
様、
So, Battler-sama,
くじけずにテーブルへお戻りを。
why don't you return to the table without
お嬢
losing heart?
様はバトラ様の反撃を期待さ
Milady's
れてお
expecting
り
your
ますよ。
counterattack, see?
ふざけるな。
Quit
何
messing.
をどう反論すりゃいいってんだ
How。do I make a counter-argument?
まず、あの塔が地面から生えてきたあたりからも
In the
う
first
めちゃくちゃだろうが。
Everything was screwed when that tower spread out of the earth. Lightning struck the ground near there.
実
Done.
は六軒島の地下に合体変形巨大ロボの秘密研究所でもあって。
Do I say that under the ground in Rockinjima there's a secret laboratory for building super ally combining robots or something?
ボタン一つでおかしな塔が生えてくるってのか。
Pushing that button makes these strange towers spread
そ
out.
れならあのでけえ巨人どもはきっとロボットだ
And the
ぜ。
huge giants must be
あるい
robots.
は悪の秘密結社のメカ怪獣かもな。
Or an evil secret association's mecha monsters?
わけわかんねえよ。
I don't get it.
俺に話しかけるんじゃね
Don't talk
え。うわ
She's lying about all the visuals. That's the appropriate answer. Is like everything you saw there was a complete fabrication by Beatrice. Because guess what? People also don't turn into swords.
ほら泣くなよ。
But people have been turning into swords for the last 2 arcs. So deal with it, battler. Be like, ah, it's the murderer's signature weapon. Okay. Look, don't cry.
魔法でドッカンドッカン。
Bang, bang, it's magic,
そんなこと望む
bitch.
なら月だって砕くし、彗星を雨のようにだって降らす
If you want, I'll crush the moon to make comets fall like rain.
お前好みのムチムチ姉ちゃんで島を埋め尽くしてやってもいいんだぜ。
I can even bury the whole island with those massive-breasted Nechons you like so much. See? If you're gonna argue from the point magic's real, you have to argue that there's you're being lied about. What you're seeing is not real here at this point. But that's been the case for a long-ass time. When like people turn into daggers and murder people, you got to assume that something else is happening if they're not using magic.
さあさあ、ほらほらほら。
Come on, come on.
わら
My
わの
turn's
出番
over.
は終わった
See?
ぜ。受け手をさせよ。反撃しろよ。
Show me your response. Launch your counterattack. This is the first time we've actually seen her doing all the murders too.
できねえだろ。
You can't, can you?
できねえのは船長も承知よ。
Except there's a quadrillion things you can't do.
お前、こう
You
いう
use
ダ
this
メだ
against
もん
this, right?
な。
Right?
こういうファンタジー、本当は大好きなんだもんな。
You actually like this fantasy, don't you? He might.
知ってんだよ。今時こんなの巷にいくらでも溢れてるじゃ
I
ね
get
え
it. I
か。
get it. It's been going around the streets lately, hasn't
漫画に小説、アニメに映画。
it? In manga, light novels, in anime and movies.
10代くらいのガキンチョたちがおかしな特殊能力いっぱい持ってて世界の命運かけてドッカンバッカンやるや
Some
つ。
teenage brats get a whole bunch of strange special abilities and they blow up all sorts of shit with the fate of the world on the line. It's a popular story.
お前も大好きだもんな。
You love that too, don't you?
知
Come on,
ってん
don't
の
hide it. You love it.
嘘なよ。
Right?
大好きじゃねえかよ。そのお前の大好きなやつがちょいと目の前で披露されただけじゃねえかよ。
Hasn't the thing you love just been displayed before your very eyes?
どうして漫画やアニメのそれは信じてくれるのにわらわのだけ信じてくれねえんだよ。
Why believe in manga and anime, but not in me?
信じろよ信じろよ信じちまえよ。
Come on, believe. Believe! Believe! We don't just say we believe to make things real. Why do you believe in manga and anime but not me? It's like, because I don't believe in them. They're make-believe. Come on, Beatrice, if you want to be in the same category as them.
反論なんかできねえさ。こうして見せられちまったんだからな。
You can't argue back, not after you've been shown something like this, right?
ほらほらほらほら返事をしろよ。
Look, answer.
思考はいらねえ。素直にごめんなさいベアトリーチェ様って言やいいんだよ。
You don't need to think. You can just immediately say, I'm sorry, Beatrice-sama.
ほらほら言ってみろ。ごめんなさいベアトリーチェ様って言ってみろよ。
Look, try saying
言え
it.
よ
I'm
言えよ
sorry,
恥
Beatrice
ずかしがるね
Try
よ。
it. Try it. Saying it. Don't be embarrassed. Okay. And time passes. 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5. You go from 1 to 6 a.m. Bright and early, and all the servants are dead. Guess there's gonna be no breakfast. Life is hard in the Shiromania family. All the servants got murdered by ritual sacrifice. There would have been no way to tell that morning had come without opening a window and looking up at the cloudy sky, which had become a tiny bit lighter. It wasn't a refreshing morning. All that could be heard was the sound of rain, which hadn't stopped falling since last night, and the howl of the wind.
とても朝とは思えないわね。
Hard to imagine it's
私
morning.
たちの心をそのまま示したひどい
This
天気
horrible
よ。
weather speaks for our hearts.
なら随分穏やかじゃねえか。
But it could be worse.
雨は降れど槍が降らねえだけマシだぜ。
At least it's just rain and not spears falling from the sky.
雨が降ろうと槍が降ろうとドンと来いっちゅうとこやな。
Well, whether it's rain or spears, it's coming down with a bang.
もう6時かいな。
Is it already 6?
ああ、これで十分とちゃうか。
Isn't that enough? Yeah, spears. Whatever would give you that
あ
idea.
とは謎の19人目
Rudolph?
ベアトリーチェが動いてこんことには手の打ちようもないわ。
After all this, we've got no measures we can take till the mystery 19th person, Beatrice, makes their move.
そういうことだ。
Rude.
だが向こうが撃ってくるだろうほとんどの手は想定できたはずだ。
However, I believe we've anticipated every trick they might use against us. Except for the secret spice. They haven't anticipated the secret spice. And they just got away with it. They only didn't suffer because they got lucky with RNG this time. Never forget the secret spice. The secret spice is
そう
murder.
ね。兄弟の中に裏切り者さえ現れなければ、私たちは大抵の事態に対応できるはずよ。
As long as the traitor doesn't appear among the siblings, we should be able to deal with most situations.
もうこの話は終わりにしましょう。
Haven't we talked about this
結
enough?
局徹夜しちゃった
We
わ
stayed up
ね。
all night.
眠いわ。
I'm tired.
そうですね。
You're
朝
right.
食をとったら一度お休みになられてはい
I
か
want a
がで
little
すか。
rest after eating breakfast.
良い提案だ。
A good
この
plan.
年に徹夜は応えるよ。
Staying up all night is trying at our age. As they all stretched, they enjoyed this unrefreshing morning as best they could.
顔でも
wash
洗
my
ってこようぜ。
Oh, he actually finally started talking. I'll go wash my face or
ちょっとひで
something.
え辛さ。
I probably look terrible.
何このひどい匂い。
What is this awful stench? As soon as they exited into the corridor, Kyrie openly made a disgusted expression.
どうしましたか。
What is it?
ねえ、何かひどい匂いがしない？
Don't you smell something awful?
ん？なんやこの匂いは。
What is this stench? Are they gonna be in the basement again?
こらたまらんで。
I can't stand it. After hearing those complaints, everyone stuck their heads out into the corridor. The stench was faint, but once people started commenting, it was clearly noticeable. Each went into the corridor, relying on their own sense of smell to tell them where this strange odor was coming
一
from.
体何事でしょう。
What in the world
現
could
地に
it be?
対応させましょう。
Let's have Genji deal
き
with
っ
it.
ともう使用人室に来ていて、朝の準備をしているはずです。
I believe he should have already arrived in the servant room to begin morning preparations.
頼む。
Please do.
まさかあのゴーダに限って
At the very least, it's difficult
こ
to
んな
imagine
匂いをさせる朝食を作っているとは思いが
yeah,
たい。
Goda making a
Mm.
breakfast that would cause such an odor. Rudolph and the others searched for the source of the smell and determined it was coming from underground, from the boiler room. But the door was locked and they couldn't check inside. At the same time, when Natsuhi's group was on its way to search for someone in the servant room, they noticed something strange near the parlor.
何ですかこれは。ひどいいたずらだわ。
A horrible
誰
prank.
がこんなことを。
Who would do something like this? On the door to the parlor, drawn in a paint that looked like blood, was a strange thing that looked like a magic circle.
厨房にはまだ誰も来てないわ。
There's no one in the kitchen yet.
何よそれ。
Ava's group, who thought the smell might be coming from the kitchen, returned after confirming no one was there and that preparations for breakfast had not begun. Then they noticed the change to the parlor.
ダメだな。ボイラー室は
It's
鍵がかかって
useless.
る。
The boiler room's locked.
ボイラーの故障とかそういうのだとまずいんじゃないのか。
Wouldn't it be bad if something went wrong with the
使用
boiler?
人は誰かいたか。
Anyone spotted a servant?
その悪趣味な落書き、ここにもあるの？
It's one of those vulgar scribbles here
ボ
too.
イラー室の扉にもあったのよ。
There was one on the door to the boiler room.
なんやってこの薄気味悪い落書きがここだけじゃなく
It's
他
not
にも
just
ある
here.
っちゅうんか
It's in other places too?
まさか森の魔女ベアトリーチェの宣戦布告っちゅうわけやないやろな。
You don't think this is the Witch of the Forest Beatrice's declaration of war, do you? Hideyoshi tried to make fun of it, but staring at this creepy magic circle while listening to the wind and rain really made it seem like a message from a witch. The dripping bright red paint made one think of blood, which made it creepier. Interesting. Hideyoshi tried to open the door, but it had been locked. As a general rule, the parlor wasn't locked. Someone went out of their way to lock it.
これは
What does this mean?
私たちが食堂で話し合いをしている最中に誰かがこっそりとこの落書きを残したというの。
Does this mean while we were talking in the dining hall, someone secretly left a
客間と
scribble
ボイラ
on
ー
the doors
室
to
の
the parlor
扉
and
に
the boiler room?
どうせ使用人の仕業よ。
I'm sure the servants
私たちは
behind
ずっと一緒だったのよ。
we were together the whole time.
全員にアリバイがある。
We all have
おそら
alibis.
くお父様に何かおかしな指示を受けてこんないたずらをしたのよ。
They probably received some strange order from father and pulled this prank.
昨日のマリアちゃんの手紙の件も含めて
There's the case yesterday with Maria
使用
Chan's
人
letter.
連中が親父の手先になって何かを企んでる可
It's
能性
easy
は
to
十
suspect
分
the servants are
疑え
acting
る
on Dad's orders and planning something. Well, I think you're gonna find a good old Papa in the boiler room, and you might find everyone else elsewhere in the parlor.
みんなどこにいやがるんだ。
Where is
ま
everyone?
さかかくれんぼってわけでもね
They
えだ
can't be
ろう。
playing hide
探
and
そうぜ。
seek. Let's look for them.
それより私は子供たちが気になるわ。
I'm worried about the
無
children.
事よね。
They're safe, right?
私確かめてくるついでにゲストハウスに使用人の人がいないか見てくる
Well,
わ。
I'm there. See if there aren't any servants there.
なら手分けだな。
Let's split
ゲ
up.
ストハウスにガキどもの様子を見に行く間、俺たちは屋敷の
Will you
中
go
を
to
調
the
べ
guest
てみ
house
る。
to see how the brats are doing? We'll investigate the mansion. Seems like a good plan, Rudolph.
考えたくね
I don't
え
want
な。
to think
こんな
about it.
薄気味悪い落書きがここだけってことはねえかもしれね
Maybe these creepy magic circles aren't just in places we've found them already.
親父殿のおかしなゲームに巻き込まれているのかもしれん。
You might be wrapped up in some bizarre game of fathers. That is true. That is true.
私は親父殿のところへ行って事情を
I'll go
聞
to
い
him
て
and
み
hear
る
the。situation.
まあ素直に話を聞いてくれるとは思
I
えない。
doubt he'll obediently listen to me. The adults split up. As a result, they confirmed that the 4 children are safe in the so-called cousin's room on the 2nd floor of the guest house. They apparently stayed up late last night playing. All of them were snoring loudly, so Rosa decided not to wake them. Furthermore, Nanjo, who returned early the previous night to rest, was also safe. Seemed he believed in the phrase, early to bed, early to rise, and had awoken refreshed. During that time, Kirei and Hideyoshi searched for the servants, but they didn't find them. The servant room in the guest house was also empty. The children are safe.
子供たちは無事よ。みんな夜更かしのしすぎ
They
ね。
all stayed up too late last night.
使用人室は空っぽ
Servant
や。
room's empty.
勤務表を見ても早番は6時からってことになっとる。
I looked at the shift chart. The morning shift
も
begins
うお
at
勤め
6.
をしてなきゃならん頃
I
や。
should have started working by now.
仮眠室も空っぽよ。
The nap room
布
is
団
also
を抜け
empty.
出した後はあるけど暖かくはなかったわ。
There were signs a futon had been slept in, but it wasn't warm.
こらクラウス兄さんたちの想像が当たったんとちゃうか。
Isn't everyone's reasoning
多
right?
分お父さんの指示で
It's
仕組ん
probably
だ
a
ゲー
game
ム
father set
が
up.
あの不気味な落書きを残してどこかに姿を隠して
He must have left those creepy scribbles and hid
わ
himself
しらに
somewhere.
何かをさせたいに違い
Trying
な
to
い
make us do
や。
something.
遺産や家督を誰が引き継ぐにふさわしいか確かめようっていうことですか。
He's saying he's trying to see who's fit to succeed his wealth in the
い
head.
くらなんでもそれは。
Isn't that a bit?
いいえ、
No.
お父様だったらそういうことをしてもおかしくないか
No,
もし
it
れない。
may not be strange if father's behind something like that.
何しろお父さんは大仕掛けが大好きや。
After all, he loves doing things on a
例
big
の
scale.
碑文を大広間に掲げた時から練りに練った計画だったのかもしれへんで。
This might have been a finely tuned plan starting as far back as the epitaph being hung in the hall.
ならゲームの開始宣言もしくはゲームの説明などがあったり
In
は
that
しないのかしら。
I wonder if they'll give us an announcement of the game or an explanation of it. I'm just gonna... If I was in this room with Kyrie, I'd just sit there and stare at her for like a solid minute. And just be like, are you fucking serious? We got the announcement and the explanation. That was the letter you read, you dumb bitch.
マリアちゃんに渡したような紋章入りの封筒が出てきても良さそうだけど。
It certainly would be nice if an envelope with the crest like the one handed to Mario were to appear.
そうね。
Right.
ひょっとすると屋敷で兄さんたちがそれを見つけたかもしれないわね。
Maybe Nissan and the rest found something like that in the mansion.
南條先生、
Dr.
あんた
Nanjo.
なんか聞いてませんか？
Have you heard anything about this?
申し訳ありませんが、私に
My
は
apologies.
何が
I have
何
no
だ
idea
か
what's
さっ
going on.
ぱりです。ただ、なるほど。
And yet, yes,
金
certainly.
蔵さんが何かを企んで大仕掛けを打つことは
I could
私に
easily
容易
imagine
に想像
Kinzo
できます。
planning something on a grand scale.
一度屋敷に戻らん
So we go
か？
back to the mansion for now?
なんか向こうで見つけたかもしれんで。
Maybe they found something over there.
あ、お邪魔でなければ私もご一緒いたしまし
If
た。
I won't be in the way, I'll go too.
私はここに残る
I'll
わ。
stay
上
here.
にマリアたちが寝てる。
The children are sleeping upstairs.
何が起こってるかわからない
You
で
don't know
子
what's
供たちを放ってはいけないわ。
We shouldn't leave them alone.
そうね。
That's
私もローザさんとここで留守番してる
I'll
わ。
stay with Rosa and watch over
う
the
ちの
place.
人にそう伝えていただけませんか？
Would you tell that to my husband? Rosa and Kirei remained in the guest house. Hideyoshi went with Nanjo and returned again to the mansion. Perfect. So these two are remaining with the kids so that the kids can see that something bad happened when they go running off. At the same time in the mansion, in a way that was hard to believe, or maybe we should say in a way that gave him a bad feeling, Rudolph's prediction was spot on. The same magic circle graffiti had been drawn on the doors to the boiler room and the parlor, had been found in multiple places throughout the mansion.
兄貴、
And
親父の方はどうだ？
how's Dad?
いや、ダメだ。
It was no
何の
use.
反応もない。
I received no
一応
response.
扉に耳も当ててみたのだが、何の気配も感じな
I
か
put
った。
my ear against the door, but I couldn't sense anyone.
使用人の姿はどこにもありません。
There's no sign of any of the
一体
servants.
どこ
Where
へ
in the world
姿
did
を
they
消したの
disappear
や
to?
ら。冗談じゃないわ。
It's not
お父
funny.
様も使用人も姿を消し、屋敷中のあちこちにおか
How
しな
many
魔
of
法
them
陣
are
だ
there?
らけ。
Father and the servants are hiding in their strange magic circles all over the mansion. Yeah, and how many circles are there? You found more? Do explain. I
一
want to see
体
what
何が
renovated.
起こってるっていうのよ。
What the world's happening? Calm the fuck down, Ava. Only a few deaths. There weren't only magic circles on the door to the boiler room and the door to the parlor. Oh, okay, let's see where they are. There were 2 on the 2nd floor, 1 on the 3rd floor, a total of 5. A double kill somewhere? They were all the same circle and all the doors were locked, so they couldn't check inside the rooms. Interesting. So one has 2 bodies. I guess Canon and Shannon are together.
とにかく、まずはボイラー室を何とかしよう。
Let's do something about the boiler room
何
first.
かの故障で火事になったりとか、爆
It'd be
発し
bad
た
if
りとかしたら
something.
大変だ。
It'd be bad if something broke down and caught fire or exploded.
鍵だな。
We need the key.
使用人室にキーボックスがあったはずです。
It should be in the key box in the servant room. They fished through that key box. Because each of the servants carried their master keys around, those weren't kept there. However, all the individual keys should have been there.
よくもこれだけぎっしりと鍵があるものだよ。
Can't believe they fit so many keys in there.
ないわ。
It's not here.
何度探してもボイラー室の鍵が見つからないわ。
No matter how much we look, the key to the boiler room isn't here. Of course it isn't.
見ろよ、姉貴。
Look,
例
Anakin.
の魔法陣の書かれた部屋の鍵だけが。
Only the keys to the rooms with those magic circles drawn on them are missing. Of course,
綺麗に
right?
ぽっかりと抜けてるぜ。
本当ですね。
It's
こ
true.
れは困りました。
How bothersome.
まるで魔法陣の部屋に入ってほしくないかのようね。
It's as though someone didn't want us to go into the rooms with the magic circles.
いえ、わざわざ魔法陣でアピールしてるんだから入ってほしいのかしら。
No, they went to all the trouble of making those circles obvious. Maybe they wanted us to enter.
俺は後者だと思うぜ。
I think it's the latter.
扉をぶち破るのは映画じゃあるまいし無理だろう。
This isn't a movie, so breaking down the door is probably impossible. Wait, isn't it supposed to be the opposite?
窓を破ればなんとかなるかもな。
Smashing a window might do the trick, though. For a while, Kraus pondered whether the situation really called for smashing a window. At the time, Hideyoshi and Nanjo returned. There was nothing strange in the guest house. The children were safe. They told the others Rosa and Kyrie had stayed to watch over the place.
おはようございます。何やらおかしなことになったそうですな。
I heard something strange happened.
おはようございます、南條先
Good
生。
morning,
早
Nanjo.
朝から起こしてしまったようで申し
Sorry for
訳あ
waking
り
you
ませ
so
ん。
early in the morning.
なんや、
What is it?
手紙の類は見つからんのか？
You find a letter or something?
わしはてっきりそういうのが見つかったとばかり思っとったんや。
I was sure you'd have found something like that by now.
そうね。私もこれは お父様の
I
壮大な
believe this
冗
to be a
談か
joke.
何か
Or
の
a
ゲ
game
ーム
of
だと
father.
信じてる。
Well, at least they're aiming for where Kinzo is.
でもそうなら必ずそれを伝える手紙があるはずよね。
If that's the case, there should be a letter telling us about it.
マリアちゃんに手紙を与えたように。
Like the letter given to Maria.
ゲーム開始宣言はまさにあのマリアちゃんの手紙だったのかもしれません。
Hey, he got it! What if Maria Chan's letter was actually the announcement telling us the game was on?
自分の謎を解いてみろと。すでにゲームの内容は示されてるさ。
The rules of the game try solving the riddle of the epitaph. It's already been made clear. He's
な
right.
ら屋敷から5つも見つかった魔法陣にはどん
And
な
what
意
might
味
the
がある
five
という
circles
の
we
か。
found in the mansion represent?
姿の見えない使用人もだ。
And the missing servants?
夏日姉さん、
Natsuhine-san.
使用人って今日は全部で何人いたかしら。
How many servants were there today in total?
現地にゴーダに
Genshi, Goda?
5人ですが何か。
Five, but why?
使用人が5人。
So there are five
魔
servants.
法陣も5つか。
Five magic
偶
circles.
然だろうが気になるな。
It's a coincidence, but one I don't like.
兄さん、
Nisa,
窓を破りましょ
let's break a
う。
window.
中を確認するべきだわ。
We need to check what's inside.
仕方ないな。
Seems we have no choice.
綺麗に頼むよ。
Do it neatly. Kraus made his decision and gave permission to smash a window. He decided the first room they break into is the parlor on the first floor, where the windows would be easiest to reach. They hoped to peek in through the window, but the curtains were drawn so they couldn't see inside. Rudolph wandered around the garden trying to find something that would be good for smashing the window. Eventually he found a rock bigger than a fist and came back.
全部割ることはないわよ。
You don't have to smash the
鍵
whole
が回
thing.
せる程度に開けてくれれば十分。
Just enough you can reach the lock.
あまり期待には添えないかもしれないぜ。
Don't get your hopes up, okay? He raised the rock and hit the glass with it several times. Eventually, he succeeded in opening a hole big enough that he could unlock it from the outside. Covering his hand with a handkerchief, he stuck his hand through the hole and cautiously unlocked it.
後でガムテープで塞いだ方がいいだろうな。
He'll probably cover it with packing tape
雨
later.
が吹き込んじまうぜ。
The rain will get blown in. When he suddenly opened the window, the wind and rain made the curtain dance around violently. The curtain was blown to the side. They could see into the parlor they knew well. They were a little relieved. They thought there might be another bizarre magic circle in the room, or possibly traces of some creepy ceremony. In any event, they didn't want to hang out in the rain, so the six of them, Kraus, Natsuhi, Eva, Hideyoshi, Rudolph, and Nanjo entered the parlor as a group. One at a time, you mean? They're going through a window, right?
変わったところはないようですな。
Seems nothing in particular has changed.
どうしましたか？
What's wrong?
シャノン。
Shannon?
ちょっと
Wait,
大丈夫なの？どうしたのよあん
What
た？
happened to you?
チアチア
Blood! Blood!
南條先生見たってや
Dr. Nanjo, take a look at this!
シャノン
Hey,
ちゃん、
Shannon.
大丈
Shannon,
夫か？
are you okay?
返事をしろい。
Answer me.
揺さぶってはいけません。
Mustn't shake her.
今、容体を見ます。
I'll examine her condition now. She had been in the shadow of the sofa, so they hadn't noticed her until they entered the room. Shannon was lying on the floor, her chest stained bright red with blood.
おーい。
Hey!
バトラー、どこだ？
Where are you?
ほらほら、シャノンの死体も出てきたぞ。
Shannon's corpse showed up! Come on, you see?
もういじめねえから出てこいよ。
I won't bully you anymore. Come on out. Oh?
おーい、痛い。
There you are!
そんなところで頭抱えて何してんだよ。
What are you doing, clutching your head in a place like that? Battler was crouched under the table holding his head. His pitiful figure made it plainly clear he didn't want to see anything, didn't want to hear anything. Had he heard Beatrice's sneering voice? Could he not hear? Was he pretending he couldn't hear? In any event, it was clear he closed up his heart like a shell.
少しお嬢様がいじめすぎたのではないでしょうか。
Perhaps you tormented him a little too much,
あれ
milady.
だけのものを見せつけて反論を迫って
After showing him all that and demanding a
塞ぎ込
counter-argument,
みたくなる気持ちも分かろうというもの
I
です。
can understand why he'd want to mope around.
なあ、バトラー。
Battler!
反論がないならリザインを頼むぜ。
If you can't argue back, resign, okay?
お前の手番なんだ。
It's your turn.
何か刺すとかパスす
If
る
you don't make a move or
さもな
pass,
きゃ降参するとかしてくれね
or otherwise give up, we
話が
won't get
前に
anywhere.
進まねえよ
What was that?
聞こえない
I can't hear you.
黙れっつってんだ
I said be quiet. Okay.
ああうるせえうるせえうるせ
Shove, 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 shove. Okay, still going on that? That's the
え
plan?
何か魔女だ何か魔
A
法
witch?
だ
Magic?
好き勝手にやればいいじゃねえかよ俺は信じねえ何も信じね
I'll just do whatever you want. I don't believe any of
え
this.
クソクソクソ
Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it.
俺に話しかけるな何も見せるな消えろ消えろ消えちまえ
Don't talk to me. Don't show me anything. Disappear. Just disappear.
俺にそのムカつく顔を近づけるな
Isn't disappear one of the lines? That's one of the lines for the combo finishers in Bayonetta 1. That's what I'm thinking of. One of Jean's combo finishers is one of the lines she utters when she does her combo finishers disappear. Alright. It can trigger off of the most basic spam attack spam combo you have, which is like triangle, circle, triangle. For your horizontal slash. Battler Stop Being a Bitch is a fun murder game. I'm not sure what he thinks is on the line. His existence? The eternal torture with the witch? I don't know. Don't get that annoying face near me. Battler's suffering's amusing though. Beatrice winced reflexively at Battler's sudden rage.
そうは言うがな
Even if you say that.
お前の手番が終わらんとわらわの手番も来ぬ
If you don't finish your turn, my turn won't come.
あまりわらわを退屈させるなと言いたいの
I'm the one asking you to stop boring me.
知るかよ黙れようるせえんだよ
Cares, be quiet, shut up.
お前のゲームなんか知るかよ
Cares about your shitty game.
付き合ってらんね
I
え
won't go along with it.
俺の番が終わらねえとてめえの番が来ねえってんなら永遠に待ってやがりゃいいだろうが
If your turn won't come until mine's finished, just wait for all eternity.
ああ知らねえ知らねえわからね
I don't know, I don't know, I don't get
え魔
it.
女も魔法も認めねえあんなめちゃくちゃも認めね
I
え
won't accept witches or magic. I won't accept something that's screwed up.
あー俺に話しかけるなっつってんだ
So don't talk to me. Battler, come on, we're here for fun. Right? So, black screen. Looks like I don't know what's what anymore. After being shown something that screwed up, how could I resist? I wandered aimlessly through the rose garden. It was raining and windy, but that didn't mean my body got wet. There was just a feeling of isolation as I wandered amidst the wind and rain without an umbrella. Okay, I was waiting for the music to kick in because there's like fucking nothing going on. I'm like, I can hear something.
俺はひょっとすると
Maybe.
あいつのゲームに
I lost in that person's game a long time ago. Didn't we already have a clear winner and loser in the last game? After all, I surrendered for a time. That's why the world was tinted with witches and magic. Right now, Rockenjima is a different world where witches stride around openly and fire off strange spells. It isn't a matter of accepting or denying it. Maybe I mistakenly assumed I was playing a game on an even footing with Beato. Maybe I was already defeated in the last game and this is just the signing ceremony of my surrender. A minute ago, a terrible battle unfolded in this rose garden. I saw it with my own eyes. I kicked the ground. Obviously, the ground was hard. Water from a puddle splashed. Several towers split this ground, spouting like a high-rise buildings. The more I kicked the ground, the more it felt like it couldn't possibly have happened, but for that very reason, I couldn't explain it with anything other than magic anymore.
密室に鍵が閉じ込められてとかってやつなら
If it was a closed room with a key
よ
shut
くあ
inside,
る推理小説の延長だろってことはわかるさ
I'd know it was probably an extension of stuff you often see in detective novels.
でも
But
あ
that?
のドッカンドッカン
That big
ってのは
flashy
ね
shit?
くっそ
私の弟子が随分と迷惑をかけている
Seems
よ
my
うです
disciple caused you much trouble.
あんた
Oh, it's you. Someone suddenly spoke to me, so I turned around, and in the Rose Garden Arbor was the predecessor Beatrice, who Beatrice supposedly defeated a short while ago. She exists as a soul, who cares? I was sure you died. So you survived?
いいえ、死
I
に
did
ましたよ。
die. But Beatrice is dead too, so who cares?
今の私は取られた駒がチェス盤の外でくつろいでい
I'm
るだけ
nothing
に
more
過
than a
ぎませ
defeated
ん。
chess piece loitering outside the chessboard now.
あんたはベアトの師匠なんだろ
Beato's
って
teacher,
ことは
right?
つまりあんたも
In
魔
other
女
words,
ってわけか
you're a witch too?
ええ、そうですよ。
Correct.
ってことはつまり
So
やっぱ
basically,
り魔女はいるってことで
that
決まり
means
なわけ
witches
だ
really
な
do exist?
そしてあいつを倒せるのは俺じゃない
And the only one who can defeat her isn't me?
すげえ魔法使えるあんたの方じゃねえか
That's you, because you can use awesome magic,
俺は
right?
もうお役御免さ
I'm just useless
俺
now?
にできることなんて
There's nothing I can
もう
do?
何もね
There never was
おや
anything.
おや、
Oh my.
すっかり屈服してしま
Have
い
you
ました
surrendered
か。
completely?
僕も何も
You mean
あれを
surrender?
どう説明すりゃいいんだ
How am I
よ
supposed to explain
塔が
that?
生えたり落ちてきたり
Towers
で
sprout
っ
and
けえ
fall.
巨人が盾を
Giants with
構えたり
shields
槍を
throwing
投
spears.
げたりああ思い出すだけでも気が変になりそうだぜもう推理も
Reverie
ヘチ
makes
マ
me
も
feel
あっ
like
た
I'm
もんじゃ
going
ね
insane. We're past the point of trying to reason this out, aren't we?
トリックとか人間犯人説とかそんな領域をとっくに超えてるだろ
We've left the level of tricks and things that can be explained with human culprits.
ああ畜生畜生畜生畜生
Damn it, damn it, damn it.
落ち着いて。
Calm yourself.
私はあの子のゲーム版の駒に過
I'm
ぎない。
nothing more than a piece in that child's
こう
game
して
board.
番外へ取り除かれてしまえば、もはや何もできない存在。
After being removed from the board, I'm no longer a being capable of doing anything.
しかしあなたはあの子の対
But you're
象
her
あ
opponent.
なたが自ら投げ出さない限り、あなたには
As long as you
常
don't
に
give up, you have the power
あ
to
の子
strike
の
back.
意志
うるせえ
Shut up.
あんただっておかしな呪文を唱えて塔だの槍だのを呼び出してたじゃねえかよ
Weren't you also reciting strange spells and summoning towers and spears?
何を一矢報いるってんだ
You
よ
mean strike back.
俺にも魔法を教えてくれたあいつとあの大魔法バトルを繰り広げろって言うのかよ
What do you say? Are you gonna teach me magic and make me take part in that massive magic battle?
あなたが望むなら
If you
あなたに魔法の一端を教えてあげてもい
To
いで
teach
す
you a
よ
bit about magic.
そりゃ願ったり叶ったり
Oh, just what I
で
wanted.
あいつの胸板にズドンと打ち込んでやれるようなすっ
The
げ
massive
え魔法一発
Teach
頼
me
むぜ
some awesome magic to smash through a chest in one blow. Don't screw with
何
me.
やってんだ
日本の魔法に雨乞いの儀式というものがあるそうですね。
Here in Japanese magic, there's a ceremony used to
ご
pray for
存
rain.
知ですか？
Do you know it?
雨乞い
A rain
バンバン
ceremony.
火をくべて演舞を奉納して
The
雨
thing
を
where
祈
you
るっていう
throw stuff
あれ
into a
か
fire and dance as an offering?
あれは魔法じゃね
Not
え。火で
magic.
上昇気流ができてその結果雨雲が集まるっていう
They say the fire causes an updraft which makes rain clouds
れっき
gather.
とした科学現象のはずだぜ
It's supposed to be an accepted scientific phenomenon.
おや、私は東洋魔法の一つだと信じていま
Believed it to be a form of
した。
Eastern
魔
magic.
法ではないのですか？
That's not the
天に
case.
聖なる火を捧げ、敬いの演舞を捧げることで、
I believe people offered sacred fire to the heavens as well as a dance of
神
respect.
々の心に雨乞いの嘆願が届く
Your
ものと
entreaty
信
for
じ
rain
て
would
おり
reach
ま
the
した
heart of the
よ。
gods.
大昔の連中はそうだったろうよ
Maybe people did long
でも
ago.
その手のオカルトは大抵科学
Most
的
of
に
the
説
stuff
明が
like
つ
that
く
has
も
a
んだ
real explanation now, yeah?
物が燃えるのは、
Why
土
do
物
things burn?
質にフロギストンが含まれているからでは？
Isn't it because phlogiston is contained in the material?
いや物が
No,
燃える
things
のは
burn
酸化
because
反
of
応だ
chemical reactions.
フロギストン説はラボアジェが否定したはずだぜ
Lavoisier abolished the phlogiston theory.
物に熱が伝わるのはどうしてですか？
Why does heat transfer through objects?
物質にカロリックが含まれているから
Is
で
it
は？
because caloric is contained in the material?
そいつは確かジュールが否定したはず
Pretty
だ
sure that was abolished by
熱は
Joule.
エネルギーであって物質じゃない
Heat is energy, not a substance.
よくお勉強していますね。
You study
正
well.
しい知識ですよ。
Your knowledge is accurate.
ちょいとした雑学レベルだがな
Pointless trivia.
フロギストンもカロリックも、果てはエーテルも、神の愛さえも。
Phlogiston, caloric, and eventually ether and
科
God's
学的
love.
な説明の前には
All
無力で
powerless
すね。
before a scientific explanation.
私はかつて木からリンゴが落ちるのは
In the past, I was told an apple falling
人
from a
に
tree was
食を与
thanks to
える
God's
ため
love
の神の愛のおかげだ
that humans
と
would be
聞かさ
given
れま
food.
したよ。
重力すらも神の愛なのか？
Even gravity is the love of
ま
God.
科学より宗教が万物を説明した時代の名残だろ
Well,
う
that's
ぜ。
probably the remnants from a period when religion rather than science were used to explain everything.
その通りです。
Correct.
人類はかつて自らの知識の限界を
In the past, the humans called the limit of their knowledge, or
無
ignorance
知
itself,
そのものを
magic.
先ほどの雨乞いの話はまさにそれでしょう。
Like the rain ceremony we were just talking about.
太古の人々が
The people of ancient times realized it was a scientific
火が
explanation.
熱を生み上昇
Fire
気流
gave
を
rise
生
to
み
heat
出
to
して
cause updrafts to
雲を
summon
呼ぶ
clouds.
ことを理解せずともそういう結果になることだけは知ってい
Even
た。
without understanding these things, they at least knew the result.
そういうのは結
Probably
構あ
happened
るか
a
ら
lot.
先人たちの知恵ってやつさ。
Stuff called knowledge of
理
the
由は分か
ancestors.
らずとも
Even without understanding the
長
reason,
い経
although
験で
through long
そういう
experience they
結
knew
果
the
が得
achieved
られるこ
results.
とを知っていた。原理を理解できない現象は多分彼らにとっては魔法も同然だったろうな。
Phenomena whose principles they didn't understand were probably the same as magic to them. Like this person who just said ancient people who didn't understand those principles probably believed it. Though through the rain ceremony, their wishes would reach the heavens and make rainfall. To them, it was certainly magic, as long as they didn't understand
電
it.
気のスイッチを押せば明かりがつく。
If you push an electrical switch, a light turns on.
子供は電球がなぜ発光
Children
す
don't
る
know
の
the
か
principles
そ
behind
の
why a
科
light
学
bulb
的原
lights
理
up.
を知らず結果だけを知っていて
They only know the
スイ
result
ッ
when
チ
they
を
push the
原理を
switch.
知らずと
If
も
they obtain
結
such a
果を
result
得
without
られ
knowing the
るなら
principles,
ば
is it not
それ
magical?
は彼らにとって魔法なのではありませんか
It's kind of
面
interesting.
白い。ま
Sure.
あ理屈から言やそうだ。
I've already posited theories like this, so I don't think this is a particularly interesting conversation or explanation to me, but continue reading and absorbing it. It's kind of useful. To know where battler's coming from, at least.
例
Logically,
えば
that's
俺
true.
たちはテレビのブラウン管にどうして画像が映るのか。
For example, I don't have a clue why the brown tubes in a TV show
で
a
も
picture,
テレビに物が映るのは当たり前だと思ってる。
but I think it's normal to see things shown on
ブラウン
TV.
管の原理を知らなくてもスイッチを押せばテレビが見られることだけは知っている。
Even if I don't understand the principle behind brown tubes, I at least know that if I push a switch, I can
上
watch
昇気
TV.
流を理解せずに雨乞いをするのと全く同じ
It's
だ
the。same as a rain ceremony, right?
つまり原理を知らないならばテレビだって魔法
Even
も
if I don't
同
know
然
the principles, even TV is the same as magic.
魔法そのものだろ
Or magic itself, I
う
guess.
ってわけか。
あなたはブラウン管の構造がどうなっているか知っ
Do
て
you
い
know
ま
the
すか
structure of brown tubes?
分解してその中身を見たことは
Have you taken one apart and looked inside?
ねえよ。
Nope.
本か何かで構造を読んだ気もするが
I read about it in a book
難
once.
しくてさっぱり
It
だ
was
った。
complicated. I didn't have a
確
clue.
か電子が蛍光物質にぶつかるとき発光し
I
て
think
どう
when
なるのか
electrons
な
hit a fluorescent material, it creates luminescence or some shit like that.
それは偽書です
The book lied.
真実はブラウン管の中にグレムリンという妖精が閉じ込められていて
Actually, there are small people called gremlins shut up inside
魔
brown
法で
tubes.
仕事をしてくれているか
They
ら
do
な
their
の
work
で
with
すよ
magic.
はバカなこと言うなよ。そ
There's
んな
no
わ
way
け
that's
ねえだろ。
ブラウン管の中を覗いたこともないのに
How can you
どう
deny it
し
if
て
you've
否定
never
を
looked inside a brown tube?
覗いたことはねえが絶対にそんな妖精はいないと断言で
I've
きる
never
さ。
looked inside, but I can say for sure that small people like that definitely don't exist.
ここにブラウン管がない以上実証
Since there
は
are
不
no
能
brown
です
tubes here, it's impossible to prove. Yeah.
確かに今この瞬間
Right now,
は
perhaps.
後でどこかのテレビをばらしてみせればすぐに論破できる
But
さ。
later, I can take apart a TV somewhere, show you, and instantly win the argument.
ということは
Put
ブ
another
ラウン
way,
管の中にグレムリンが閉じ込められていて
my
その
magical
魔
theory
法
that
で
gremlins
映
are
像
shut
を
up
映
inside the
し出
tubes
し
and
てい
display
る
the picture
ブ
with
ラウン
magic
管の中身を検証するまで否定不能ということになりますね
is impossible to disprove until we can verify the contents of a tube, correct?
なんだよあれか
Is this one of those?
悪魔の証明だって言いてえのか
Are you trying to say it's the devil's
お
proof?
前たち魔女のお箱だぜ。
That's a favorite trick of you witches.
悪魔の証明は消極的事実の証明が不可能であることを逆手に取った詭弁です
A devil, well, this is possible to prove. but it is like a devil's proof, but it's one that is only unknown until you can examine the truth, right? And the truth is examinable here, I think. That's what she's gonna say. A devil's proof is a bit of sophistry, one that takes advantage of the fact that negative facts are impossible to prove. But it's different from the brown tubes metaphor, because in the brown tubes metaphor, he knows how to prove it and can in fact do it, he just can't do it right now. It could be resolved by simply taking apart a single television. Right. It's not quite a devil's proof. You propose a scientific theory? I propose a magical one. One is truth. And which one it is can be ascertained the moment you look inside a brown tube. However, until the instant that happens, we can't deny each other's theories. Even though only one truth exists. Until you look into the brown tube, you can have two conflicting truths existing at the same time. A realm in which two truths exist simultaneously, even though there must only be one in existence. I see. Is the cat in the box alive or dead? We're going for that classic Schrodinger's, the existence of two truths. That's why she's proposing the brown tubes thing. If you open the box, you'll learn the answer. You'll learn the truth. However, until you open the box, you can claim the cat's alive, and you can also claim that it's dead. Both claims are the correct truth according to the people making them. And even though the two sides are in conflict, neither can win the argument as long as the box remains unopened. In other words, two truths can exist at the same time. Every VN loves Schrodinger's cat. Yes. Yes, many VNs like Schrodinger's cat. Even though there can only be one cat in the box. It is packed with a living cat and a dead cat, forming a strange separate world. That's what Rockinjima is now. This island is now a different world where a scientific theory and a magical one can exist at the same time. To a resident of the world of science such as yourself, at a glance it may feel as though this island has been sucked into a world of magic. That might not be wrong, but it's not accurate. Strictly speaking, it's been moved from the world of science to the gap between the world of magic, that world and the world of magic. At a glance, it appears to you as though the world is tilted towards the magical side, but in reality, the island's in a perfect impartial position with relation to the two opposing worlds. I don't really get it. The gap between reality and magic? A perfect impartial world? How's that? Hasn't everything that happened not been in my favor? Think of it this way. It's a trial. Think of it as a court where you and Beatrice lay out opposing claims. The brown tube trial. Brown. It could be brown. Your opponent claims there are tiny people inside the brown tube. Explaining one thing after another. Talking about the lives of these tiny people, what they look like, what type of magical power they have. And what do you do? Well, I study in a library and argue back by explaining how brown tubes are constructed. At this moment, both your claim and the child's claim exist in the court at the same time. If you find your opponent's claim convincing, it might sound like truth to you, it might look like truth to you. That's exactly what you saw. At this moment on Rockinjima, witches and magic may exist as truth. Until the moment the cat's box is open, though. It's an uncertain wave function. The entire situation can be explained by both sides at the same time. However, there's one truth.
それは観測されることによって収縮
The
し
set of truths shrinks with observation, and countless truths are weeded out to become one
法廷
truth.
で例えるなら
It's
ば
like when in
これ
court,
は裁
the
判
judge
長
hands
によ
down
る
his
判
judgment.
決行為にも似ているでしょう
Okay.
検察側
The two
弁護側
truths
がそれぞれに主張する
from
2
the
つの真実
prosecutor's
は
and defense's claims,
判決によって収縮し一つとなるのです
reduced in number by the judgment and become one. Okay.
あんたの
Say
言
in
葉
your
を借りる
words.
とつまり今のこの島はブラウン管の中を覗く直前
Sound
の
right
世
now
界
is the world right
って
before
わけなんだ
looking into a brown tube,
だから
right?
こそ
Brown tube?
科学説も魔法説も
A scientific theory and
どちら
magical
も
theory
否定
cannot be
できない
denied.
ってこと
And
は
since they
つ
can't
ま
be
り
denied,
どちらも真実と
Both
して
exist as
だか
truth.
ら魔女も魔法も存在し得る
therefore both witches and
し
magic
かし同
exist.
時にそれを否定するあなたの意見もま
However, your
た
opinion
真実とし
of
て
denial also
同時に
exists
存在
as
でき
truth at
る
the same time.
相反する2つが同時に
A
存在
world
で
where
き
two
る世
conflicting
界
things
そ
can
して
exist at
相
once.
反す
A
る
world
真
where
実が
conflicting truths
互
cannot
いを
disprove each
理
other.
解できてきましたか
You understand?
つまりベアトがどんなすげえ魔法を俺に見せようとも
No matter how much awesome magic
それ
Beato
は魔
shows me,
法説の主張でしかなく俺を否定することには当たらない
it's only a claim of a magical theory and it doesn't disprove my position.
ベアトがどんな魔法を俺に見せようとも
So no matter what kind of magic Beato
この
shows me in
世
this
界で
world,
はそれをもって魔法が存在する証拠に
it
は
can't be
なり
proof
得
that
ない
magic
そうです
exists.
あの子は木からリンゴが落ちることすらも魔法で説明しようとするでしょう
A child might try to explain an apple falling from a tree with magic, perhaps by shaking your staff and
杖を
magically
振る
plucking the apple.
魔法にてリンゴをもぎ取り
I
大地
see.
に落としたかのように主張するかもしれない
Seems to have something in common with Beatrice. Nice, nice. Off a cliff. Everyone's banned out together. You get thrown off a cliff by the random function, you're dead, just like Beatrice. By claiming to be the thing that made it drop to Earth. Alright. So, she tries to explain an apple falling from a tree with magic by shaking your staff and plucking the apple, claiming to be the thing that made it fall to the earth.
しかしそれはあの子の主張の
It
一
would
つ
be
に
nothing
過
more
ぎ
than
ない
another
あの
claim.
子のいかなる主張もあな
None
た
of
の
your
主
opponent's
張
claims
する
can
機
prevent
会
you
を
from
保護
making
その
yours.
意味においてこの世界は双方にあまりに公平な
In
の
that
です
sense, this world's quite impartial to both sides.
なるほど
I see.
だがよ
Still.
その論法で言ったならたとえ俺が科学説で正論
By
を
that
示し
argument,
た
if I
と
show
こ
a sound argument
ろ
by
奴の魔
science
法
theory
説と正面衝突を起
and
こ
it
したら
collides with their head
俺
head
も
on
ま
with
た
her
奴
magic
を
theory, I
論破
can't win
でき
against
しか
her.
もそのファイナルジャッジはブラウン管を除かない限り
On top of that, the final judgment won't come until we peek into the brown tube.
この世界のブラウン管はどこに
Where is that in this
俺た
world?
ちに議論なんて必要ないってことになる
Because it exists, there should be no reason for us to
俺た
argue.
ちは仲良くブラウン管の中身を覗けばいいだ
Why
け
don't
の
we get
話じゃ
along
ね
and
えの
peek
か
into the brown tube?
中に妖精が本当にいた
If
ら
there's a tiny person, it's my
い
complete
なか
loss.
ったら
Otherwise,
逆に
it's my
俺の
victory.
勝手
Why do we hold this debate without
俺たち
looking?
はブラウン管を覗かずにどう
それこそがあの子があなたに挑
That's
ん
the
だ
game you're being
裁
challenged
判で
to?
はなくチェスと例えるべき
Maybe
でしょ
instead of a court, I use chess as
勝
an
敗は
example.
裁判官が決めるのではない
Victory and loss are not determined by a
戦
judge
っ
in
てい
it.
るあなたたち自身が決めるのです
You who fight will decide it by yourselves.
真実が同時に存在できるめちゃくちゃな世界で
You win an argument with opponent in a screwed up world where multiple truths exist at the same time?
現にあなたは論破されて今こうして屈服してい
In
ます
actual fact, didn't you lose an argument and surrender like this?
今私に助言で
All
き
the
るのは
advice I
こ
can
こ
give
ま
you
で
now.
ですもしもあなたが
If you
望む
wish,
なら
I can
時折
occasionally
助
offer you
言を与え
counsel.
ましょう
ありがとう
Sure. That really helps.
助かるぜ
Thanks.
あんたの仇も
I'll avenge you.
ありがとう
Thank you.
期待していますよ
I look forward to it.
あんた名前は
What's your name?
ベアトリーチェはかつて私の名でしたが
Beatrice used to be my name, but now that I've surrendered it, I don't have a name.
私はならば仮の名でも
So I'll
名
take a
しょう
temporary name.
ワルギリアス
Vergilius. Or is this oh, I guess I'll pronounce it Vergilius, but I'm like Vergilius.
いえ
We have Virgil. Vergilius.
ワルギリアではいかがです？
Vergilia, thank you. At least they made it. Wait a minute. Who did this translation? Who are you? Who are you and why can you not go slap Nasu? Who did this? Who wrote this? Go slap Nasu. Rikishi, I disagree with everything. I disagree with your conclusions and your story writing all the time. But by God, you finally learned how to make a name feminine. Something Nasu hasn't been able to do in like 30 years of writing. Jesus Christ. Look, Vergilia instead of Vergilius. It works. Nobody complains.
Vergilia.
God, oh, fucking Altria. What is this shit? Altria? What is this shit? How do you get Altria from Artoria? I don't understand.
Valkyria?
Like Valkyria?
神話の女神の名前だっけか。
Ooh, Japanese Waru. Japanese Waru. It's Warukuria, right? Maybe like Waru? They actually have like the vowel sound, but like how to pronounce that I'm not actually sure. Wasn't that a name for a goddess that shows up in Myth? No. It's the guide who leads the way to Beatrice. She's Virgil. She's Virgil, not a god. Come on, come on. Oh, it was so obvious. You just have to act the DMC part of Virgil.
煉獄さんの頂上にて待つあの子のもとへあなたを導く。
Actually, no. Virgil, if I recall correctly, Virgil's a poet, right? Battler hasn't read Dante, although that could be referencing that too, right? Virgil from Dante's Inferno? Right? I think I'm like thinking Virgil the poet. But if she's going with the guide, they would make more sense to go with the protagonist of Dante's Inferno? Who's the person who tells them everything, right? Virgil the poet is in, yeah, it's Virgil the right? Yeah, he's a poet, but more importantly, from Dante's Inferno, he's the person who gives him a guide through the place, right? Like, she's thinking of him as like the character from the Divine Comedy, rather than like the poet themselves. Right? All right. Okay. That's what I'm going with. All right. I'll guide you to that child who awaits at the summit of Mount Purgatory. It ought to be a fitting name for such a guide, because Virgil's the person who guides Dante through the Divine Comedy. Lady that is Oh, okay. Dante put the historical poet as his best friend. That's what Vergilia references. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Virgil's the guide in the Divine Comedy, but he's renowned as a poet. I guess about the same as the guide in this case. Would have guessed I'd accept help from a witch when I'm trying to deny witches. Alright. If it's a contradictory world where different claims can exist at the same time, I guess that's cool. Almost funny. I'm borrowing that child's words, but you truly are like a phoenix. Your will to fight's already been revived. If your heart's prepared, return to your opponent. Return to the chessboard where that child's seated. I look forward to seeing how far you can fight with my disciple. Yeah, keep watching. I won't listen to her babbling anymore. I think this is an annoying scene because there's no... I think this is an annoying scene because it kind of wastes like half of the fucking episodes we were reading beforehand. It's like, oh, all this stuff we've been reading didn't happen, and you're like, oh, alright. Even knowing that it was like we had to axe it up. Even when we were like towards the end of the second act and diving into the third act, and we knew, or chapter, and we knew that like they were, if we're supposed to deny magic, we have to basically outright say that her scenes don't happen. It's still really annoying to be shown scenes that aren't happening because it's just wasting your time. I won't listen to her babble anymore. Like, it'd be better for us to just say, okay, and then she died, and you're like, okay. I'll coolly fight to the end. I won't get definitely won't get provoked by her any longer. And let us return to the seat of the battle.
Oh, Battler!
Oh, Battler! Where'd you run off to? I know, I thought losers never came back for more. Sorry to keep you waiting. I cooled my head a bit.
それでわらわとお師匠様の愉快痛快爽快大喝采の素敵ファンタジーバトルへの回答は
Did you think of a response to that pleasant, thrilling, refreshing, highly acclaimed, wonderful fantasy battle between teacher and me?
あんなのファンタジー以外じゃ説明不能だろ
Isn't it impossible to explain without fantasy? No, I reject everything that happens fantastical, which means your scenes didn't happen and something else happened in their place, and you're just wasting my time spending 2 hours reading this scene. Milady. Didn't you promise to be kind and act more gracefully? Oh no, no. I just got in such a good mood when I saw his face, you see? Look, how are you going to respond to that battle? Now, battle it? Battle? Battle. What? In this rose garden. Where do you see those spears? The towers you made lying around? They aren't here, are they? In other words, it's just like the inside of a brown tube. The inside of a brown tube? Wait, what are you talking about? What are you talking about now? At this very moment, there's nothing in the rose garden. Towers may have been sprouting with magic until a short while ago. That's only the case until we see what's inside the brown tube. The magical battle is nothing more than your interpretation of your claim. The fact that there's nothing to see now proves it. And this is how I argue back about that witch's battle now. Right now there's nothing here, which proves nothing happened. Come. Of course, I can't make a huge mess when it's only first twilight. I'm rather fond of the rose garden. To prevent any damage, I had the fight occur inside a barrier. It's only natural it wouldn't have any influence on reality. That's your claim? I guess that works. However, at this point in time, there's nothing in the rose garden. So nothing stands in my way of the claim that there was no magic done here either. Yeah. Wait. Can you deny my magic? With a mess like that? It's impossible to prove my magic. The magic doesn't exist. It's the devil's proof. At this point in time, this garden is the truth. At the instant you look inside, the tiny people inside the brown cube will vanish.
ここには何の魔法の痕跡もない。
And there are no traces of magic
だ
here
か
at
ら
all.
お前らの魔女の戦いは行われなかった。
But the battle between you witches did not take place.
なんだその返し
Counter?
その力
That power.
もし
Could it be?
お忘れですか、お
Have
嬢
you
様。
forgotten, milady?
多層世界収縮術です。
It is the multi-layered world's reduction
無限
technique.
の魔女の力と対になる有限の魔女の力。
The power of a finite witch, the counter to the power of an endless
無
witch.
限の魔女にしか悟ることができず、そして無限の魔女にとって最も強
Only
力
an
な効
endless
果を
witch
発
could
揮し
receive
ま
it,
す。
and it is most effective against such a witch.
シュレディンガーの猫箱か。
That cat box! That Schrodinger's cat box!
あの老いぼれ魔女め、余計な入れ知恵を。
That old hag of a witch, what an uncalled for hint.
時間をロスった。
We've lost
使用
time.
人5人とじいさまで6人の死体。
We've lost time, including the 5 servants and grandfather. There are
状
6
況を
corpses.
確認させてもらうぜ。
Let me check the
俺
scene.
がもたもたしてて時間を
I've
無
been
駄にしち
wasting
まった。
time, trudging along.
ここからはサクサクいくぜ。
From now on, I'll speed things up, alright?
席につけ。ベアト
Take
リ
a
ーチェ。
seat, Beto.
ようやく第一の番じゃねえか。本番スタートだぜ。
Finally, the first twilight, isn't it? Let's start the real thing.
どんと来やがれ。
Show me what you've got. If ostensibly, Ronove was taking care of these, right? Ostensibly, Ronove set this up. Ooh, and another 50 minutes later. Originally, the amount of time they spent wandering the mansion. Waits for scene fade in, fade out. Still waiting for a scene fade in. Alright, are we going to the guest house? Yep, back at the guest house. People are waking up after a nice, relaxing sleep. And I think here is where we'll have to take a break.